Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Sweet Talkin' Ponies podcast, your favorite podcast for everything My Little Pony. My name is Casey, also known as Charm in the My Little Pony community. My pronouns are he, him, and she, her. Today, I am joined by Saturn, who uses she, her pronouns, as well as Grace Ruby, who also uses she, her pronouns. Well then, without further ado, welcome everybody to the Sweet Talkin' Pony podcast! My name is Charm, and today I am joined by our lovely guests. We have Saturn, and we have a new guest joining us today. If you guys would like to say hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Yeah, today we are joined by Grace Ruby, who you might have heard her name if you were listening to one of our previous episodes. I think it was episode 6, if I remember correctly. I may be wrong on that. But Grace Ruby, who is the creator of G2-Redo, which is that fan-made project surrounding Generation 2 reproduction toys.
Yes, hi. Thank you so much for having me on. I'm so excited. It was so cool to just be scrolling and find a podcast where you guys were talking about the crazy fan project that started off in my little craft room and is now sort of gone worldwide. It's really exciting, and thank you so much for having me on. This is so cool.
Yay! We're super excited to have you!
Woo!
I also would like to apologize to our viewers for the short little hiatus. I took a few months off from YouTube just because some of the policy stuff was infuriating me, and I just kind of generally needed a little break because of life situation. But I am here. I am so ready to be editing videos again. I'm gonna try and get the podcast back on its monthly schedule. So, yeah. Get ready to listen to the Pony Podcast again. Hooray!
Woo!
Hooray!
To start us off, we're gonna start with the most fun part of the episode, which is, obviously, the Pony Set of the Month, where we just look at ponies and be like, wow, that one's my favorite.
Nice. They're all my favorite, so...
And for Pony Set of the Month, because I wanted to talk about Generation 2 this episode, I just went with, to me, the most, iconic Generation 2 ponies, the 1997 Magic Motion set featuring Ivy and Sundance, just because Sundance to me is G2 personified, and both of these...
Oh, I do like these ones.
Yeah, they both have moving parts. Sundance, you turn her head and her tail will spin, that type of thing. And I will briefly describe them. Ivy is a green pony with pink hair with a little bit of purple in the mane, and her cutie mark is a purple ivy leaf. And Sundance, also renamed Sunsparkle later on. G2 had a few ponies who had same design, but then they got renamed a few times, or it depends on the location of where they general pony stuff.
In the UK, she's Sunsparkle. I think it's a location thing. In Europe, she's called Sunsparkle, not Sundance.
Yeah.
But I think Sundance fits better because she's a dancer.
Yeah, I know that that's a thing for a lot of ponies, not just G2, but a lot of ponies have different names depending on where they are sold.
Yeah.
The names of G2s. They're just frustrating anyway. I honestly think that G2 has some of the best names and some of the absolute worst names.
Well, they have a lot of princesses, royalty, princes, so a lot of their names are Prince or Princess Sunsparkle specifically.
Yeah, I think one of the big ones for me is the ballet ponies. One's called Satin Slipper, which is one of my favorite pony names of all time. I just think that's so gorgeous, and it conjures up vintage ballet vibes. And then the other ballet pony is called Her Majesty Ballerina, which is so dumb and such a mouthful. It's how have you... Why?
I do kind of love how that's part of like one of the aesthetics of G2 is the really overly fancy names for like no reason. I guess they're all just royalty.
Yeah, you definitely get the sense that like post 1999 they really were like running out of steam because all the like original playset designs and all the like cool original pony names and stuff start to like amalgamate into like much more basic reused stuff and weird names, lazy names like, oh, this one likes fireflies, what will we call him? Prince Firefly. Like, oh great.
Woo!
Class.
I know that's a thing, like a lot of G2 ponies have shared symbols, like they just reuse the same cutie mark symbols for a bunch of them. Like there's a whole section on the website Strawberry Reef about it, like Bride and Prince Blue Dream and the Blue Dream Prince and the Princess Golden Dream, they all have a cutie mark that's heart with a few rings around in front of it. Like they all have the same symbol. It's just recolored on a bunch of different ponies.
Yeah, I think the most egregious ones are the ones where it's not even like a different pony with the same symbol. It's the same pony and they're trying to pretend like it's a new character. Sweet Berry is particularly bad for this. There are so many playsets of like generic princess and chef and gourmandy, and it's just Sweet Berry. They didn't even change her color palette. Like she's got the pink and purple body, the like red, pink and purple hair, the cutie mark. She's doing kitchen things. Like just call her Sweet Berry. Why do you keep trying to remake her?
Cause if she has a different name, then the people will think she's different, and they have to buy her again. That'll work, totally.
It works on me because I have at least attempted to. I don't know if I've got every single one, but I have tried to get every Sweet Berry, even the Sweet Berries that aren't called Sweet Berry, because I've decided that they are Sweet Berry.
I think the funniest one is Her Majesty Flower.
Some of the babies have got funky names. The twins that are called Rumba and Samba. That's so jazzy. So unlike anything else.
When I think of G2 babies, I think of Fire and Flame. Those are cool names. I guess because they're orange.
I always just, the only baby I can ever think of is just the one that's just like baby Lightheart, basically.
Yes, she's very cute. I think she's called Tickleheart, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it's like
Very
Tickleheart or
cute.
Ghoulheart or something.
Well, with that, I always think of, there's this coloring page with like Silver Swirl and Silver Swirl's baby, and the baby just looks so mad. Like the baby
Well, to be fair, I would be mad because I know that baby's called Baby Swirly, and I would be pretty mad if that was my name, so...
I think I forgot to describe what Sundance looks like. Oops. Or Sunsparkle Sundance. She's pink with a purple and yellow mane and a sun cutie mark. Hooray! So out of these two, I am particularly drawn to Sundance just because Sundance was my first ever G2, and it was, I remember I was having a rough day, and then Saturn and I went to the mall, and they had a box.
The antique mall, not like
Yeah.
a mall.
We went to the local hip and cool teen mall. No, we went to an antique mall, and they had Sundance, and she was still like on the card, like mint on the card. And I upset people by unboxing her, but I still have the card, and yeah, she's my first G2, so she's my favorite out of these two.
That's so sweet. I'm gonna go the opposite way, and I'm going to say Ivy, because Ivy is my favorite G2 pony of all time. As a kid, I loved the dress-up game. I loved doing all the like silly hairstyles on her. And that outfit you can put her in with like the sunglasses and the feather boa in the game. That's a slay. That formed my fashion sense from a young age. She's so confident. She just rocks it. So I'm going to vote Ivy.
I am also going to vote Ivy. I think she's really pretty.
Yeah, I know that with Ivy, a lot of people think of the meme where someone
McDonald's Ivy.
Yeah, where someone posted like because McDonald's released like G2 toys, so someone was reposting an image of like McDonald's Ivy, and someone was like, "I thought that was her name," and then everyone made art of her working at McDonald's.
Oh yes, I've seen that. Maybe that should be a one of the first custom ponies that G2-Redo produces. McDonald's Ivy. Like a little grey visor with the golden arches on it, and maybe her accessories would be like some fries.
I think that would be very hard to get copyright clearance for.
I mean, I'm already sort of treading thin ice anyway, so
yeah,
why not? We could change the M to a P for like Pony Donalds.
You've gotta become like the fakey companies just doing the most egregious on the nose. Like, this isn't Lightheart, it's Blightheart.
I've particularly been deep diving into like fakey companies, not just ponies but Barbie knockoffs, as business research this week, and yeah, it's not even subtle. The stuff I've found, they don't care.
I think I'm gonna transition us into, I think just this episode, I want to talk about Generation 2, and then we'll segment into specifically G2-Redo stuff, because G2 has a very, like, interesting history comparatively to a lot of other pony generations, simply because it was so short compared to a lot of other generations, and it was relatively unpopular outside of Europe, and so a lot of people don't know a lot about G2, I think. So, Generation 2 began in 1997, and worldwide, it only lasted until 1998, but after that point, it continued in Europe up until around 2003 when Generation 3 was hitting the shelves.
Yeah, it's weird because they actually did overlap. Like, there was G3s, I'm pretty sure coming out in 2002, at the same time that, like, the end of the G2 playsets were still being released. And I think that's the only time, but I think G4 and G5 have had some crossover on shelves.
Yeah.
But it's unusual.
Also, a lot of people think it feels smaller compared to other generations, just in terms of the amount of characters there were, compared to something like G1 and G3 having like hundreds of ponies, whereas G2 has a smaller roster, I feel like.
Yeah, definitely. You think that would make it easier for collectors, but unfortunately, despite there only being, I want to say, less than 100 unique characters, some of them are so hard to find. Like, I know there are a lot of G1s that are considered rare and are really expensive, but if you've got the money, you can go on eBay and, like, type in Mimic, for example, and you can get one. It could cost you a lot, but you can get one. There are some G2 ponies that, like, you just cannot get. Like, you could have $1 million and be like, sell me this pony, and everyone would be like, no, because we don't have it either.
A lot of the reason why that is like a combining of a bunch of different factors. Like, part of it is that it was exclusive to certain areas in Europe, and it was a lot less popular than Generation 1, because it was sort of the first time My Little Pony changed its branding. Nowadays, people don't mind new My Little Pony generations because it's the standard. Like, people know that every 10 years or so it's going to get a new generation. But I think at the time it was kind of shocking for a lot of people for My Little Pony to change so much, so that might have contributed to it not selling that well.
I actually totally agree with that. I've been, like, planning a potential YouTube video sort of on this exact topic of how it was, like, way ahead of its time. And part of that discussion is about the fact that not only was it the first time it rebooted, and that was something new and different that people weren't used to in the pony world, but I don't really think it was like a huge thing in like toy and animation franchises in general. I know a couple of franchises had reboots or resurrections, but nowadays cartoons rebooting, toy lines getting a facelift, it's like you said, people are really used to it. We almost expect it, but they really did do something bold and different, and it's so different. The art style, if you loved G1 and were obsessed with it in the 80s, I imagine you would be really mad when you saw G2. I think they're beautiful, and I know a lot of people have sort of come around to them now that they've got the nostalgia goggles for them, but yeah, I think you would probably be upset if you really loved the style of the G1s, because G1s are like ponies, you know? They got like little legs, round bodies, like the head shape, like they are categorically ponies, but G2s are like horses. They're proportions of like more slender, more elegant, like they don't look at all like a connected toy line. So yeah, I think people would have been mad. I know they were.
Yeah,
I have like the opposite effect though, because even though I grew up with G3, I had the DVDs that had the G2 art with like the cartoony G2 style on the cover, but when you put the DVD in and turned it on, it was the G1 animations.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh yeah, it's the ponies from my video game. I really love them. They look so cute. And then like the G1 ponies and 80s animation would come on my TV, and you know, I've got an animation degree now. I really appreciate 80s animation, but as a child, I was like, what are these round ponies? why they got such chiseled features? These aren't my ponies. So if I was feeling that way, expecting G2 and seeing G1, I imagine the same sentiment must have carried over the other way.
I do think when a new generation comes around, it is a pretty common feeling to think of like, this isn't My Little Pony. Because I know I grew up with Generation 3, and I was there while Generation 3 was releasing, and then I was there when Generation 4 started. And I did not like Generation 4 when it started, because I was a little kid, and I was like, this isn't My Little Pony. And then I came around to it. So I think it's pretty common for every generation to be like, this is not correct.
And I appreciate you bringing it up with the context of like other toy lines didn't have that as big of reboots, because you're right with like nowadays it is more commonplace for like toys to reboot, and I feel like you also see that with like cartoons, like maybe even video game series. Like I feel like people are pretty adverse. Like I've seen. Sorry, I have Pokemon on the brain because I've been obsessed with the new game. But Saturn and I were talking about this morning. People were really mad at like, oh, they're rebooting this game from my childhood, but they're just making it. They're like bringing a new art style. People really don't like new art styles, even if everything else is like pretty similar concept. Like G2 is still similar in the fact that it's toys with brushable hair and like you collect them all. It's just a different art style and vibe and different characters, and I feel like people are pretty adverse to change, just in general.
Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, with Pokemon, there's the meme, isn't there, of like the Gen 1ers, like the people that are pure about the original 151 Pokemon only, and that's not even a reboot. They just add more Pokemon. The old Pokemon isn't gone, they still exist, and they're still like in the games, mostly. I know they take a variety, but it's not even a reboot. It's more content. Why are you mad?
I think the most annoying thing was when Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl came out, and everyone got really, really mad that Game Freak was saying it's a faithful recreation of Diamond and Pearl, because they're like, but the graphics are chibi, and it's like, did you play the older games? Did you pay attention while you were playing? Generations 1 through 5 were all chibi.
It's just harder to tell because it's pixel.
Pixels tall, and your body's only like 1 pixel tall. You're telling me that's not chibi proportion.
They turned Sinnoh chibi, and it's like, it was always chibi. We didn't get non-chibi Pokemon until it hit 3D.
That one makes me mad.
Also, like, looking at the like old pixel sprite art style, like, yeah, you played that as a child when you were like 2.5 foot tall, so you did think that that model was proportional to you.
Yeah.
Now you're playing it as an adult, so a 3 foot tall human does not represent you anymore. That's why you feel like it's weird.
That's also
Yeah,
part of
and
the issue. It's people are playing these games when they're children, and then they grow up and become 10 times more critical, which is fair, but also they're criticizing the series for stuff that it did when you were a kid. Like, it's the same as it's ever been. It's just...
Yeah.
Yeah, luckily for me, G4 hit at a time where I had grown out of playing with my G3s. My parents thankfully kept them all in like nice storage for me, but I was like 11, 12-ish, I think, when G4 began. So I was like, oh, My Little Pony, that thing I used to play with.
Oh, I did
the
the
new
same
cartoon looks
thing.
kind of cool. And then I really loved it, and like spent all of my teenage years being an insufferable G4 pony person. I don't want to say brony, especially because I'm not a bro.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I was heavy in the G4 fandom, and then when G5 rolled around, I was like, Kimiko Glenn is playing a unicorn. Yes. So I haven't had too much trouble with adjusting to the new generations. I'm not the biggest fan of the Gen 5 toys, but I haven't had that like visceral reaction that 80s kids talk about when seeing G2s.
Mm-hmm.
I see G2s and I'm like, my babies, I love you. Babies.
I did the exact same thing when G4 came out. Like, I was like, I remember being 6, 7, 8 and playing with G3s, but then when I was like 8 or 9, I was like, I am so over this girly toy. I'm not a baby girly. I don't need to play with baby girly toys. And then I like all of the people on 4chan when My Little Pony Generation 4 Friendship is Magic aired, I was like, yeah, right, I'll watch this first episode, and then I liked it.
Yeah, I remember actually before the brony fandom exploded, it was a small group of people that were taking the mickey out of like a animation for girls because, like, God forbid 5-year-old girls have anything to enjoy.
Yeah.
And then they all just like unironically liked it.
Mm-hmm.
But no, it was that sweet spot, like you said. I'd put down the pink pastel ponies, I picked up the My Chemical Romance, and then they put Princess Luna on my screen. And like 12-year-old me was like, oh my god, I can be a horse and I can be emo. And that just, yeah, now we're here.
I really tried to get into Generation 4 as a kid, but I was a weird kid in middle school, and my family took great pleasure, and I don't think it was on purpose, but they took great pleasure in like shaming me for every single thing I did. So I was like, I can't watch My Little Pony because they're gonna bully me. So I was like only able to watch a few episodes in secret on my phone, and I was never able to properly watch it, and I still have it, even though I really like Generation 4.
Oh no, that's a shame. I had the privilege, and I'm going to say privilege, of just being strange my entire life in a way that it cannot be concealed. So when I was a teenager watching My Little Pony, my parents were just like, yeah, that tracks. Yeah, that's our kid doing that shit. Oh, sorry, swearing. I'm not swearing.
No, it's fine.
You can swear here, it's fine. I always get nervous when new people join because I'm like, I can't make a bad impression on them because I swear like a sailor, and I have a big potty mouth, and then but like I allow swearing on my channel. It's all over the place.
Well, I'm British, and I think one of the stereotypes you guys have of us is that we have absolutely foul mouths. So it's quite true.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been strange my whole life too, but for some reason, my family's like, "Oh, it's funny that you're doing that. I'm gonna point it out," and it's like, well, "Don't do that." That's not nice.
That's just like a problem with a lot of people in society in general. They do look down on like quote unquote childish things marketed towards kids, and so like I don't know, just people start to look down on you if you enjoy any of that stuff. Like I had that problem a lot with Now keep in mind, I was undiagnosed autistic. I only got diagnosed as an adult. But like, and my mom kind of knew at the time, and she would kind of make fun of me for it. Like, she would be like, oh, you have the brain of a 6-year-old, even though I was a teenager. Because I liked My Little Pony stuff. And that kind of stuff is just weird and crazy to me, because
when I said tactfully earlier that I was strange as a child, that was just a synonym for autistic. I was obsessing over weird stuff at weird times in my life, or like literally from birth. So yeah, my parents were just like, "Yeah, she's on one again."
I was undiagnosed ADHD.
I've got both. I win.
Oh no!
I'm getting an A+ on Pony because I got them both.
You win.
If Casey and I hold hands, we'll have both.
When you
Fusion,
you start a business selling niche ponies that weren't even popular at the time, and you're like, I'm gonna make money 30 years later off them. Which again, my parents, when I told them about this, they were, again, yeah, that tracks. Yeah, you're doing that now. Of course you are. My Little Pony business. But it does, again, shroud you with a little bit of privilege in that if people are like, oh, what are your hobbies? I mean, I'm mixed with social circles where if I say My Little Pony, they all go, cool, me too, or something similar.
Mm-hmm.
But the general population, you know, if you say, oh, my hobby is like playing with ponies, so like, okay. But if you go, oh, like I run a bespoke toy business, a vintage toy business, and it's doing really well, they actually like respect you.
Yeah, it's all about the way you frame
have to be
it.
doing well and making money off it. Otherwise, you're just playing with baby toys, and that's not cool.
Or they just assume you're a brony.
Yeah, the difference between like your autistic interest being something socially acceptable, unfortunately, tends to be can you monetize it? Are you turning it into a hustle grind set? That tends to be the unfortunate barometer.
How do I make money off TF2 so my friends can't bully me for being obsessed?
Stop gambling on it
with TF2. Well, if I get no.
That's how you make money. Just stop spending money on it.
Or keep gambling.
No.
Get the golden frying pan and sell it for an insane amount of real money.
As somebody that has a very minor addiction to Pokemon cards, I'm gonna side with Saturn here. You know, next time you're gonna pull the card that you can retire on, even though like you wouldn't sell it even if you did pull that card.
Exactly.
But like I'm making money. Like, oh, I opened a £3 booster pack and there was a £30 card in there, so I've made money. It's going in my folder with all my other cardboard.
Yeah.
So I'm not making a profit on it, but
also, I am extremely responsible with my TF2 gambling. So there.
Okay. Just the most deadpan voice, okay.
To be fair, the most adult responsible thing I've done recently is save up premium currency in the horse racing anime girl game so that I can gamble it on the thing I really, really want, rather than instant dopamine hit, gamble with it every time I get enough currency, because I know there's a character coming up that I really want to pull. So I've been saving and resisting the temptation to just like blow all the currency and gamble with it immediately. So I think like that, I think gold star, adult responsibility, financial statistics, A star for me.
I don't know why gambling is a reoccurring topic on this podcast, but as I say, like every time we bring it up, I have to mention like it is fine
Please
to gamble.
Don't gamble.
Don't gamble if you can, but it is fine to gamble if you're responsible. Like, just be mindful of it and don't let it, like, don't spend money that you can't spend. Like, you know, be responsible, kids.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like everything.
Yeah.
It's fun in moderation as long as you have a healthy approach to it and set limits.
Mm-hmm.
Except for when I want to buy a new Pokemon pack, then I can do what I want.
Yeah, I only use Christmas money and birthday money or money that was going to be in Steam anyway on my gambling. I'm responsible.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough.
Cool.
Haha, I win, Casey.
You do win. I'm staying silent.
I
I've
got.
definitely never overspent on Pokemon ever.
I'm getting a bad grade. I'm getting a bad grade in gambling because I don't.
You're failing gambling.
That's fine. I don't need to win at gambling.
What I'm hearing is that next podcast, you need to just get like everyone in your friend group and Vegas. Ponies in
Oh,
Vegas.
I can't afford that. I can't afford that.
I have so much of like I'm very like responsible and I can restrain myself, but if I don't, I have a very bad gambling problem. In high school, I was in a game programming class, and we programmed a little gambling game, and like it was just simple like Python code. It was just text. I fell for my own gambling game. My own game that I programmed.
Did you program it to benefit you though? If you were gambling on it, but the money went in your account, then it's just
There wasn't any money, thankfully.
It's hypothetical.
Yeah, it was just hypothetical fake points.
I have a problem because my
don't.
brain went to my special interest chaotix because they went to Casino Park one time and Charmy's like, I want to play with the casinos. In the comics, Espio had a gambling problem, and I think that's funny.
He's just like me.
The unfortunate thing is, I reckon I could go to like Vegas and not really get drawn in. I mean, like,
Mhm.
the ADHD in me would definitely be drawn in by like all the lights and sparkly like games machines and stuff, but I don't think on stuff like that kind of gambling I'm actually that susceptible. It's, can I pull the anime horse girl I want? Will this pack contain a Bulbasaur? Like,
Yeah.
that will have me hooked for days. But if someone's like, oh, you can win £100,000 or walk away with like £10, I'll be like, yeah, I'll take the tenner, thanks, bye.
Well, part of that is like there's kind of an industry now, like gotcha games and that kind of stuff that like kind of build. It's just gambling, but under a different coat of paint with like pretty anime girls, that kind of stuff, and that's
that is Umamusume. It is just it's just gambling, but the horse girls are cute and cosplayable. So I'm hooked.
Which again, it's fine in moderation, but it is kind of like worrying people, like bringing in younger audiences to that. But anyway, that's a whole topic that we don't need to get into.
we don't need to keep talking about gambling.
Generation 2, it was kind of seemed smaller to other generations in comparison to its like popularity, how many characters there were. It didn't really get much media outside of one video game and the comics.
Yeah, that's true. There was more in Europe, again, than in the US, which in itself is really unusual, especially for an American toy line. American exclusives are kind of the bane of my existence with other toys that I collect, like Monster High dolls, where they'll be exclusive to Target, which doesn't ship to the UK, so I can't get those dolls very easily. But this had like the opposite problem, where so much was exclusive to Europe. I know it was because it was more popular over here, but it's very... I can't name another instance where an American toy line has ignored its American audience. That's a choice that they made, for sure. But yeah, the media that sort of contains the lore There's the video game, there's the English comics, there are French comics, which are far more numerous than the English ones. I think there's like 7 mainline English magazines and over 20 French ones, and then a spin-off from the French ones on top of that. So, but I've got some of the French ones, and I have enough, like, what's the word? I speak French good. What is the word?
You're fluent enough to.
Yeah, there's a word on the tip of my tongue, and my brain is wanting me to say acupuncture, but that is not correct. I do not have the right acupuncture in French. Anyway, yeah, I'm proficient enough in French that I can read most of the kids' comics because it's for like 5-year-olds. The lore is different, not entirely, but clearly there isn't like a set brand, like umbrella of information being used for G2 in the way that, like, for example, G4 with Friendship is Magic, very established canon, very strict brand guidelines when like books and magazines and anything was being made for like South America or Europe or like Asia, you know, they would have to follow the brand guidelines of like this is what happened in Ponyville, and these are the characters and these are the personalities. But there is a through line enough in G2, but also like they're just throwing random stuff at the wall sometimes. Like there's the UK annual with the terrifying clown that is just a scary human man. Why is he in Ponyland?
Oh, you know.
Then there's like one comic that's got like fairies and a human princess in it. The G2 characters in the French comics are relatively similar. The main cast, like Ivy, Lightheart, and stuff, are pretty much the same personality-wise, but the French comics also elaborate on a lot of the background characters that aren't mentioned in the UK. So there's like, probably if you grew up as a French kid in the 90s, you might have a completely different perception of these characters to if you grew up in the UK or the US, which I don't think is really true of. I don't think that's true of G1 or G3. That the characters would be perceived differently. So yeah, it was all just kind of messy.
What I'm hearing is it similar to Sonic the Hedgehog had Archie comics that were written completely, it felt like fan fiction, because the characters are like vaguely based on the games, but then they'll do stuff with their personality that is just completely contradictory to the game's personality.
Yes, it is exactly like that. Like, clearly the writers of the French comics were not speaking to the writers of the English comics, were not speaking to like Hasbro HQ. And people were just doing what they wanted. They were like, oh, I want to put a creepy clown in here. Great, I don't need to ask anyone's permission. I'm just going to do it. He's there now. He lives forever in G2 canon and forever in my nightmares.
He's the most important character. He's the main character.
I hate him. I know people on the My Little Pony trading post forum, a few people like have defended him, and I don't have anything against clowns. I quite like the kind of kitschy, pastel-y, clowncore aesthetic vibes. I quite like clown-based pony OCs. Pinkie Pie, when people make her really clowny, love that. Like, I'm not a clown hater, but I hate that clown. I hate him. I hate his hair. I hate his weird feet. To elaborate, for people who haven't seen it, I'm pretty sure there is a picture of it on my Tumblr.
I can find an image and I'll send it, because I know what you're talking about.
For people that are listening, he has just a horrifyingly detailed face, a very strange sort of cone-shaped body, wild yellow hair, and feet that are completely different sizes, and the toes are like bent backwards at an unnatural angle. I hate everything about him.
I need to see this guy.
I'm finding an image.
We're on the case.
Also,
we're on Clown Patrol.
Also, we're talking about clowns, and I just look over, and I've got clowns on my wall.
I'm not a clown hater. I'm just a hater of this specific.
Do you
want
to see my clowns? I've got the clown polycule on my wall.
Well, you could add one more to it now.
He's really weird.
Yeah,
I think they wanted to do perspective with his foot on the other side of the unicycle, but they didn't put his foot on the other side.
They layered it incorrectly.
Yeah, he's not even sat on the bike properly. Everything about him is wrong. And the fact that he lives in my beloved Ponyland, terrorizing my beloved Ivy with his toot horn, upsets me. I think he needs to go to jail, actually.
I'm gonna draw a redesign of him and make him an anime clown, and he'll be way better. I'm gonna turn him into anime, and he'll be cute.
You know, something tells me that the addition of anime eyes to that design will not help.
No, it'll be great.
I'm excited to see, but I'm also fearful.
No, you have to dress him up in Ronald McDonald's colors and then put him next to Ivy so that they.
Casey, you know that?
Ronald that runs the fast food establishment in Ponyland that Ivy works at. The legally nondescript. Donald
McRonald.
Yeah, it can't both be P, does it?
I'm gonna get my vision across to you, Casey, because I know you'll understand. You know when people want to draw the Five Nights at Freddy's animatronics as humans, and they make them like hot anime boys?
Oh God! Shut up!
No,
Stop!
Who would ever want to enjoy art of hot anime boy Five Nights at Freddy's characters? Certainly couldn't be me.
I'm just thinking of
do that to the clown.
There's an official FNAF artist who I do not like, like
hermit crabs.
And I own a poster in one of my FNAF books of like Eleanor, and actually it might be in one of my FNAF coloring books. But there's this official art of Eleanor, and I don't like it. I don't like it. Hold on, maybe I'll find it.
Is it on the level of this clown?
I don't know. But I also don't enjoy that artist.
No, that's the glow.
Going back to your clown posters being from the 90s.
Yes.
This is one of the things, like, I actually am researching about the context with which G2 exists. And that's that a small art movement in the 90s tried to sort of revive, like, 60s vintage kitsch, which is why I said, oh, these from the 1960s, because they have that, like, kitschy vibe. Like G2, it didn't really take off, but I think that the G2 art style is sort of part of that, like, retro revival that almost tried to take off in the 90s, but was vastly overshadowed by, like, what is now considered Y2K, like, millennial fashion.
Yeah.
But now it's really, really popular. So G2 would have done numbers in 2025 when that, like, vintage kitsch 1960s, like, baby nursery, Hawaii, like, Japanese ceramics art style. It's, like, all over, like, TikTok, Tumblr, Pinterest now. It was literally ahead of its time.
I just agree. I think if G2 came out now, it would have been, like, way more of a hit.
The art style is genuinely so genius. Like, people weren't ready for it, but I'm really into Japanese fashion, and the company I really like called Angelic Pretty do a lot of kitschy animal prints on their dresses that are heavily inspired by both Japanese and American kitsch, which were, like, both art movements in the 60s that sort of coexisted and were doing the same thing at the same time, and it was sort of like the birth of kawaii, and it's very evident in like G2's color palette, the eyes especially. They look a lot like Japanese ceramics.
Mhm.
It slays. It's like, it's so genius. Like, it's so smart. It's so artistically mature and rooted in really interesting art movements. But people just weren't ready for it. On a side tangent, is this Circus Baby in this?
No,
Is
it's
that who
it's-
the art is of?
It's Eleanor,
who's
who
who's
is
a book character. She's from the
who's
books.
a book character.
I
and
was gonna say I
she's,
don't
like,
recognize her.
she's,
Yeah.
like, meant to look like Baby, but she's not Baby.
She's
and
more
it's
like
weird.
she's supposed to be like. So the whole story that she's from, To Be Beautiful, is about this like teenage girl who's obsessed with her looks, and she's like, I have to be skinny and pretty, and I have to be blonde, and I have to have bigger boobs. Like, it's creepy how much it's like criticizing like I have to look beautiful as like a average teenage girl. No, I have to. So she meets this robot who's like Baby, but she's skinny, she's tall, she's pretty, and she's like, I will make you beautiful. And then throughout the course of the story, while the girl is asleep, Eleanor like replaces her body parts with robot body parts, and like at the end of the story she finds all of her bloody body parts in the garage. Like, that's the story.
That's wild.
Does Eleanor like appear on the cover of the book? Who appeared on the cover?
The cover, that's the first book. So that's the book where Into the Pit was on the cover, but there is a
Into the Pit was. Is there an illustration?
Yes,
of
because
Eleanor?
that's the first that was the first Fazbear Frights book, and all of them were going to have official artwork in it, but it got cut because it didn't look good when it was printed in black and white. Like, the art was drawn in color, and then they printed it in black and white, and it didn't look good. So this art isn't in the official book, but this is the art that is of her. It's I don't like it.
That's normal Eleanor, which
Quote,
also
unquote.
isn't great.
I don't like the way she
Okay,
looks.
those two images are two completely different characters, but I will say the coloring book version is serving so much praise. Like,
She's kind of hot. She's kind of pretty.
it kind of is.
Anyway, Ponies.
With G2, I feel like something that I notice a lot more is that it's world building. It feels like the aesthetic is a lot more like nature focused. Like, there's a lot like on all the packaging, or at least the packaging I have. It's like there's flowers and vines molded into like the furniture accessories, or and I don't want to say cottagecore, but like it's very like naturey feeling to me, and
No, I would definitely say, but yeah, no, I would definitely say cottagecore. They definitely leaned into the like whimsical, like fairy core, like fairy tale fantasy stuff a lot more, especially in the early days. Because G1 obviously was kind of that like quintessential medieval fantasy, but like retooled for pastel ponies.
Mm-hmm.
And G2, I think, carries that on really nicely. I know Tales in between was a bit different, but yeah, there's all the nature stuff. Ivy has all like the vines and the grape. There's a lot of grapes in G2. A lot of playsets with like grapevines. They loved grapevines. And it's got that like kind of it's like giving the Shire from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
But then it's again with the like lack of consistency or like overarching vision for G2 is that then they'll like throw in a playset that like the pony has a pager.
Oh, you
Like-
know.
Like, why is one of my ponies a fairy princess, and like why does my other pony have a pager and a 90s cell phone?
Because it's you have to make them friends, and then it's like one of those books where this city girl goes to like summer camp and then finds out fairies are real. There you go.
I mean, I guess
I feel
it's
like I've read a
implied-
book like that.
I guess it's implied in the video games that they have some electronics because Ivy's salon has like hair drying tools and like Sunsparkle's dance studio has the jukebox, but it's kind of that like whimsical, nondescript. It's kind of electronic, but it could be magic powered, like fantasy tech. But then the play sets are like, yeah, give her a phone.
I think the world building is kind of well, part of it is like it is like a toy line, and maybe they weren't thinking through the implications of all of the tech that the ponies have. Like they were like, it doesn't matter. But it's very interesting from that perspective, and also it's interesting from the perspective of how the world building changes, like you were talking about from the French comics to the English comics. Like it feels like maybe depending on where you are, the world building might be different.
Yeah, definitely. And I like very recently found on Vinted a G2 map, which I didn't think existed. Like I've been in G2 circles for a while, and discussions about world building and stuff often come with people saying like, well, there's no map. Like we don't know anything about Ponyland apart from the like 5 houses we see in the video game, because there's not like a world map. And then I found one, and I don't know where it's from. It's definitely genuine. And apparently I don't know like some of the more intricate details of like G1 lore, but somebody said that a lot of the places on the G2 map are just G1 locations, or at least have the same name. But that was like, honestly, I was ecstatic, because it was like such a breakthrough to have like a bunch of place names and sort of a general area map for the G2 Ponyland, that it was all just completely guesswork. And I guess even like the community, some headcanons have sort of become established. At least I personally consider them established, because it's so loose anyways, and it like we can do whatever. Like G2 is ours now. It belongs to the fans. We can do with it what we want. Moonbreeze, an artist that does a load of G2 art and is a big G2 collector. She runs a website called Lavender Lagoon, based on the like weird purple lake that there is in the G2 video game, that is almost certainly like a visual glitch, but is cool.
Yeah.
The Lavender Lagoon exists, as far as I'm concerned. Like that, it might not be on the map, but the map, to all intents and purposes, nobody knew it existed.
Yeah, I found an image of the map, and I'm sending it for visual reference.
Yes, that's my lovely desk that I'm looking at right now.
Yay!
My laptop is right there, in the middle of that, where that map is. But yeah, the map is super cool. I'm working on like getting it scanned, and then I'm going to try and like restore it, edit out all the crinkles, and make a nice lovely digital version so that other people can have it. The other interesting thing, well, this is actually not interesting probably at all if you're not insane, is the font. It's autism hours when somebody starts talking about the font.
Well, I remember you were talking about this back when G2. You mentioned this like way early on in the Project G2-Redo thread, that you did research on My Little Pony fonts to create the logo for G2-Redo.
I did. That is the kind of autism deep dive levels that I am frequently going to
it's
fuel
cool.
this business.
It's cool.
Yeah, to remake, or I should say, to make a logo inspired by the vintage My Little Pony logo that says Project G2-Redo, I tried to find whatever this logo font is. It was used a little bit towards the end of G1 and a little bit towards the beginning of G3, but it's mostly the G2 logo font. I found similar fonts, but this actual typeface, as it exists with like the heart on the I and the 2 different types of swirls on the Y, there is no typeface that I am aware of like that. So I had to sort of piece my logo together from the letters that I could find and sort of extrapolate what the others might look like. And it helps that in Spanish and German and French, My Little Pony has a translation, so there were some other letters to pick from like the foreign logos. But when I saw this, I was like, oh my gosh, look, there's so much text in the font. It's the font I've got more letters.
That's so
no
cool.
Z. I don't know how I'm ever going to get a Z. I think Z might be lost forever in this font. But
yeah.
we are closer to piecing together a complete G2 font because of this map. I did mean to make a follow-up post about that font because a few people were like, tell us your crazy font story. And I was like, people really want to hear me talk about fonts. Like I do dabble in graphic design, but surely nobody, even the most diehard Pony fan, wants to hear about my hunt for the G2 font.
No, I think it's cool. You can yap all you want about the font.
Yeah, I also think it's really interesting.
I think I ended up using, to fill in the gaps, a font from the 70s, I think, called Bookman, which was extremely similar, mostly was lacking sort of the roundness and the swirly bits, like the extra swirls. I think I had to hand draw a couple of those on my logo, just sort of guessing what letters might have them. But I based most of it on this font called Bookman. But yeah, that's when graphic design and pony autism collide, you get obsessing over a font.
Well, I think kind of related to like this map and the fact that it is so difficult to like find all these things. I feel like a lot of people see G2 as kind of mysterious or like incomplete simply because I feel like some stuff has gotten lost to time, and just the fact that it wasn't released worldwide after more than a year, a lot of people, maybe part of that mysteriousness comes from bits of media that have been lost.
Yes, definitely. The lost media stuff, I mean, it kind of drives me nuts. I do enjoy the mystery. I haven't actually worked out where this map was from. I don't think it was from the magazines, but I don't know where else it could have been from. But the mystery is fun and intriguing and exciting to like try and find answers, but also it low-key keeps me awake at night. Like sometimes I think about how many things about G2 that we will never know and that nobody will ever like uncover and that are just like rotting away in a landfill somewhere. And I spiral a bit because I care about it so much and I want to like preserve it all and archive it all and restore it all. So yeah, I can get a bit stressed about it. I think it being in the era where the internet had only just started becoming a thing definitely doesn't help. A lot of digital stuff was lost. I don't know if there was a G2 website or not, but there will have been a lot of stuff on the internet from that time that will not be recoverable, will not be archived anywhere. Print media especially, like that's gone. There is almost certainly a few full sets of the UK comics in people's collections. I have issue 1 and 2, and my god were they hard to find. Like I think I got one like 3 years ago, and then I got issue 2 like recently, so I'm at like getting an issue every few years, if that, in my collection.
Just wait like 40 years, you'll have them all.
Literally, I will be like Rose at the end of the Titanic. Like it's been 84 years. But thankfully, people who do own them are scanning them, archiving them, putting them online. I think people that are really into G2 collectively see the value in sharing this stuff with others. I'm hoping to contribute to that myself when I've got the time to scan stuff. I mean, this is definitely not a complaint. I am loving how much people love G2-Redo, but the time that I put aside for my business, I'm like, I pack all my orders up and I'm like, right, okay, time to do some digital restoration. I'll get like half an hour in and another order will come through. And like, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Please, if anyone's listening, keep doing that. That is fantastic. But I am genuinely so busy with the new stuff that trying to find time to work on the sort of like preservation and appreciation of the old stuff has got to take a back seat at some point. But the map is priority number one because I think that's super interesting, and that will be available to download from the website, hopefully.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I feel like there's definitely more of an emphasis on preservation, especially in today's internet, with people, with toys just having a bigger fandom now. A lot more people are into like doll collecting, that type of stuff. So I do see a lot of people, especially in the pony community, actively working hard to try and archive this kind of stuff. But at the same time, I know how difficult it can be because I try to archive what I can. I'm just bad at it. Like, I don't have any, like, good scanners, but I try to compose, like, and I wouldn't even call these, like, good archives because it's just my shitty collection. But I'll be, for a while I was archiving, like, My Little Pony vintage coloring pages. Like, people send me coloring books and like, I've been sent hundreds of them, and I've been sent so many that I can't upload them all. That's kind of like the problem. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like you'll see like on wikis, people want to have more complete data. Like, I know that recently people made an effort to get more editors onto the My Little Wiki website just because that website had some pages that were incomplete. They didn't have complete information, and now they've gotten a few more moderators on there, so people are actively submitting clearer images of this product or this packaging and that kind of stuff. And I feel like, because a lot of people overlook toys, especially back in like the 80s, 90s, people are like, oh, it's just silly toys, it doesn't need to be like documented. But that's how a lot of history gets lost.
Absolutely, definitely. I did consider when I saw that thing for the My Little Wiki, and I did think, oh, that's something I'm really into, and I was like, I do not have enough time.
Yeah.
maybe someday, but like, do not commit to more things. Like, I've got fingers in so many pies as it is, but I do plan on submitting some stuff because I know there are some G2 accessories that I have, and they've got, at the minute, a standing thing that says image missing of that accessory, and I'm like, I can fix that. I can help, because it is satisfying to see an archive become more and more complete and to get a bigger picture. And when you find something new G2 related, it's like, so exciting. It's like, I know I was joking on the forum being like, I have like made pony history. I found like a groundbreaking archaeological piece, but like, it does feel like that to me because this is my like whole passion, and helping build a archive of it with people, I don't know, it feels important. Probably not important to most people, but to somebody that wants to get into collecting and is like trying to work out which slightly purple accessory goes with which pony versus the other slightly purple accessory, like, those pictures can be really helpful. So yeah, I think there is value to it. And I mean, not to be like existential, but like, why do anything? It's as valuable as anything else, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I'll throw this out there just in case anyone is listening. I know there's a Tumblr blog, I think it's MLW Submit, where like you can submit photos for the My Little Wiki. I've submitted some stuff. I don't know if they've actually updated it through there, because I think that page might actually get so many submissions that it's hard to keep up. But I've also like DM'd images to my friend
Hermit crabs!
Maybe I'll cut that out because I don't know if they want an influx of messages from people, but Saturn had like I
had a box. I got for like Christmas one year, because up in Denver we went to an antique mall and they had an in the box Spanish sweet talking pony. And my auntie got it for me for Christmas, and I opened the box and there's this brochure and it has pictures of prototype ponies
Yeah, that were
that
not
hadn't been
documented.
seen before. Yeah,
so
so
cool.
they've been documented now.
Yeah, and now those
which
images on the
was
wiki.
really cool.
I sent them to my friend who is my little wiki editor, and they uploaded that. So I think that's cool.
That is very
it's really cool.
Prototypes are especially fascinating. I love looking at the prototypes for like all gems. I find the production process itself like so interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know how many of the ponies are prototypes. I don't recognize all of
Well-
them. That was more, Casey was more the one recognizing which ponies were prototypes, and I was just like, okay, I'll
Like
take that
you,
picture
like
of
you were
them.
you were sending me images of the brochure, and I was like, hold on, that's a new image. I'll send some of the images, cause some of them were images that we had seen before, but like specifically, I think these are like UK ponies, but like European ponies, but there's like the cookery ponies. They had an image from an advertisement, but if you looked, it was different from the image in your brochure. Like the pony was a different species. Like one was a Pegasus, one was an Earth pony, and just small changes like that to where your image was one that I don't think was on the wiki at all.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's super interesting. I was gonna say it speaks again. It tells us like about the nature of toy sales at that time, that they, because G2 is terrible for putting prototypes in brochures. There are like G2 ponies in brochures that were found in Europe that were like never even properly produced. Like they just were like, oh yeah, advertise it. We might make it, we might not. Like
Yeah.
because now if you did that, like I know as a Monster High collector, they used a prototype hand-painted doll to advertise one of their collector dolls when they first started doing the recent collector dolls. And then when pictures of like the final doll came out and it was like ever so slightly different, like her eyebrows were not quite as defined and well printed as the hand-painted prototype that was done by like a professional artist. And everyone was like really mad because they were like, oh, you've advertised a product to us and her face from the factory doesn't actually look like that. Like that was big controversy. Like people were like leaving full hate comments on Mattel's like Facebook page, and like the whole community was like, can't believe they would like false advertise and trick us. But like in the 80s and 90s, they were like, yeah, just stick whatever in the brochure. It doesn't even matter if it looks like a product.
Yeah,
It doesn't even matter if it
It's
is a
ponies.
product.
They'll
Yeah.
get whatever pony we release because it's ponies. They'll do it.
And it's
Yeah,
interesting.
people weren't looking at like consistency and character and details like that. Like your parent was looking at it and going, yep, that horse is pink and my kid likes the pink ones. You know, it's simple at times.
You'll see that in a lot of earlier G1 pamphlets too, like famously Sprinkles used to be a darker blue-purple color before becoming like this pale color. But I think it also is interesting from a toy design perspective because we get to see the thought process of like what design changes they're making. Like we get to see what like prototype designs are interesting because you get to see the concept art for the character basically.
Yeah, definitely. You get to see like where it started and then where it ends up, which is really fascinating. Like that's something I really love. Another thing about the G2 advertising is it like there's one prototype pony that's really shiny. It's a baby pony. It's like I can't remember if it's Drifter or Dart or Dreamer. It's one of the green baby ponies with like the yellow and green manes. And it's a prototype and it's really, really shiny. And it was in the brochures, like it's been glossed. And for ages everyone was like, why is this pony so shiny? And literally the other day, I found on a French website high definition archives of some of the French TV adverts. There are some on YouTube, but they're like really low resolution. But these are more higher definition. And in the advert, that baby pony that is the prototype that everyone has wondered why is it shiny, gets wet, like gets rained on, and gets splashed with water, and then cuts to a shot where it's like glistening with water. So it was clearly like glossed up. for that advertisement, and nobody, like, people have been questioning for years, like, why is this baby so shiny? And I just stumbled across that, and I was like, oh my god, that's the shiny baby. Now we know why the baby is shiny, and that's not even a super historically significant discovery to put two and two about the shiny baby for G2 as a whole. There's little mysteries, and it's nice to solve one. Like, the satisfaction of being able to answer like a question the community has been puzzling over for years is fun. You know, you get to stroll up to the forum and be like, hey, guess what I found? Like, you guys. And everyone's like, wow, that's so cool. OMG, amazing. And you're like, yeah, I'm like hot shit here.
I know.
And then, you know, you like step out into the real world, and your friends are like, so what have you been up to? And you're like, well, I don't mean to brag, but I was digging in a French archive, and I discovered why a tiny plastic horse was painted in varnish. And they're like, what? And you're like, they love me on the forums. I'm popular there.
Well, I think that's just kind of the appeal of finding lost media kind of stuff in general. Like, it feels like you're making a big discovery.
There's the thrill of the hunt.
Yeah. I also know that, like, I feel like not a lot, maybe not most, but there are so many. I have seen a lot of prototype images of ponies where, like, they have a very glossy varnish paint, and that's one of the ways you can tell that it's a prototype. Like, it's like hand painted, and you can kind of tell just from the visual. Like, I can think of several G1 ponies like that, but also I know that people were hella disappointed when they saw the prototype image. And this is maybe a little funny because the pony never came out of the prototype stage, but the prototype image of Generation 5 Scout Kindheart is very shiny and glossy, and then, like, the prototypes that people bought from the factory are not like that at all.
Oh no, that sucks.
She's still cute.
At least a lot of the G2 prototypes that people have managed to get their hands on are weird in some way, and that's part of why you want a prototype, right? Because it's a weird, different novelty that is, like, rare and unique. You want it to be strange.
Yeah.
I found a picture of the shiny ponies. Let me put them.
Oh my god, the shiny baby.
They are so shiny. They are so shiny. It's kind of funny. I think the other reason was that they were, like, varnished because they were hand painted to, like, keep the paint from chipping while people were handling them for the photo shoots and stuff.
Yeah.
But these two definitely were in an advert where they either get rained on or go and, like, splash in a puddle or something. And then they get wet, and then they're really shiny in the next shot. So I think these were used for that.
Nice. I'm gonna put in the editing, I'm gonna put in the sound effect for when you encounter a shiny Pokemon and make at least 3 people jump out of their seats.
That's so mean.
You've encountered a shiny baby.
Shiny baby. It does kind of make me want to varnish one of my baby ponies. I didn't actually like G2 babies when I first saw them. I was like, what is that? It's so small. It's so stupid looking. And then I got one in a bundle, and I was like, oh, I don't collect the babies, so, like, I'll just sell that on. And then it arrived, and I was like, baby, small tiny baby.
I did the exact same thing with the teeny tinies in Generation 1, because I was like, why is its nose so smushed? I was like, what is up with it? But then you actually see how small it is, and you're like, oh my god.
The G2 babies are, like, really tiny. You know, like, that scene in Bob's Burgers with Linda and the little porcelain babies, and she's like, oh, my babies, if you're not real, why do I feel this way? Literally me with my G2 babies. When they arrived, because I got one G2 baby, didn't think I'd like it, absolutely fell in love with it, and then ordered, like, a big bundle of just babies from Vinted. And they arrived in a box. It was like 20 babies, I think.
Oh,
I was just,
nice.
like, getting them all out, and I was like showing them to my husband. I was like, babies, look at these tiny babies. Oh, they're so squishy. Look at the little legs. Look at the little faces. And he was just like, mm-hmm. I was like, baby!
That's adorable.
I love them. Sweet little babies.
Alright,
They don't translate as well to the art.
yeah.
The art of them is not quite as elegant and graceful
Speaking
as
of,
the adult
I
art.
did find those coloring pages.
Of the angry baby.
Angry swirly.
There's 2.
One of them, I just love it because she looks so snobby. Like, she's like... she looks so
Oh
angry.
my gosh. She is not impressed. She's not happy at all. I don't want to paint angry eyebrows onto a baby, but also maybe I should because that is hilarious.
She's judging you in your fashion choices like Maisley Donner style. She's like, "You're ugly."
She could be the antagonist of like the whole series, to be honest.
I think the swirly one is definitely supposed to just be eyelashes, but that baby is just mad.
Yeah,
that other baby is just angry.
This facial expression with the swirly unicorn could be construed in a few ways, but there's no excusing the absolute look of disgust, the absolute foul look that this baby is giving you.
I love it so much.
It's even funnier because the adult pony is just like filled with glee. Like my 2 moods. This could be me and my cat. Like, biblically accurate, me and my cat doing anything together.
We're gonna replace all of those emotion charts, but every emotion is just angry baby.
I think I need to make a sticker of it. I've had some sticker requests, but I think they're all getting bumped down the list for angry baby.
I would buy a sticker of angry baby.
I don't think "can you not" is a cool and funny phrase anymore, but I think it needs to be on this baby sticker.
Okay. I used to do this thing on my channel where I want to do it again someday, but I used to do like live streams that was coloring in pony coloring pages. That's part of why I have such a big collection of pony coloring pages, because I was doing live streams just coloring them. And I remember we did color one of these images, and I think Saturn made it the pony behind the slaughter and colored it purple.
Yes, where is that? Hang on. I have put William Afton in multiple pony coloring pages. I don't know why.
I don't know. It's it's the FNAF special interest. That's what it is.
I've turned a G2 pony into Springtrap.
There are parallels for Across.
Are there?
Shut down old. I know FNAF is 80s, but old 90s franchise, abandoned, liminal vibes. Speaking of like funny G2 arts, there's one that gets me from a French comic, and I think the pony is wearing. The only explanation is that this pony is wearing a dress that is the same color as her body, and the thing around her neck is like a collar. But let me just upload it, and then I'll describe it for the chat. But like this red one, what is happening here?
Oh.
She just looks like she doesn't have legs and is just a shape. She's got like
That's not
curly.
how you're supposed to wear pony dresses. No.
She's got like curly, like golden girl's hair. The dress that makes her look like a table wearing a tablecloth with like a frilly edge. It's just hideous. I don't even know who it is. Slay. I do like the puppet.
I've made this one. I've put William Afton in a truck with like the G1 truck Big Brother. I've turned a G2 pony into Springtrap, and I've colored a G3 pony as as William Afton playing the driving game from.
Let me tell you. You forgot at least 2 of the FNAF ones. You forgot 2. You forgot. There's another G2
Well,
one.
some of them are yours.
No, not all
Wait,
of them.
my brain's connecting even bigger threads here because
Oh, I forgot.
McDonald's,
That one's yours.
No,
is a
it's
fast
not.
food chain, and Ivy
Yes, it
works
is.
there.
Oh no!
I love that particularly.
Oh,
I
no!
really like that one.
Are those mine?
Yes, they are, because they're posted from your account.
Blacked out, I guess.
Got their receipts. Don't you hate it when you black out or when you woke up and made FNAF ponies? I've made FNAF Miku, but I haven't FNAF'd a pony.
That's what I did for the recent Halloween contest. Like they had on My Little Pony
that's
trading
amazing.
posts, they had a costume contest where you had to sew. And for reference, my favorite pony is Chuck E. Cheese pony, so I like doing like
There's
animatronics for
another
her.
one.
Sorry, this is just evolving into my specific FNAF special interest.
No, seriously. Tell me, I try and keep the FNAF demons at bay, but when the first movie came out, I became pretty cringe for a while, and I'm expecting it to happen again. And it's coming out right after Wicked, which I'm also really cringe about. So I'm just insufferable at this point.
I know. I was.
didn't know there was a G1 clown.
I was-
Is he friends with the G2 clown?
I was gonna bring this up earlier, but I was gonna say we had a coloring page with a G1 clown, and for some reason when you exported your image the first time, it messed it up, so it's just really tiny in the corner, and you can't see anything.
That's not anything. That's so cursed. How you G1 clown in the corner?
Here's my version of the arcade. We both went for Five Nights at Freddy's, but different.
I love that. You've both done like amazing lighting. Like I was really struck by like the yellow light reflections here, but that blue glow, ooh, delicious. I haven't FNAF'd any ponies, but I try and keep my G2 art like very whimsical. But a couple of years ago, I think it was 2022, UK PonyCon's theme for that year was Gothic.
Ooh.
And I did a piece of art for the con book where I G2'd the UK PonyCon mascot and did her like a vampire that doesn't have a reflection. So like,
Oh,
this
that's so
was like
cool.
the darkest G2 art I've done, but I absolutely love it and kind of have the urge to do some more.
Yeah, I personally love like horror stuff, and maybe I don't think I'll mention this artist's name because I don't want them getting like weird DMs or anything. But I have an artist friend who makes a lot of like really popular My Little Pony art because they draw in a really cutesy, like really gorgeous art style. But they really like doing like they like doing like crossovers between ponies and like operas, but also like horror art. But they mention that like when they post that on Instagram, people do not like it as much because they're like, oh, that's weird combining of aesthetics. But personally, I love when people combine pony with like creepy stuff.
Yeah, no, I think it's great. I used to do it a lot as a teenager. I had a My Chemical Romance pony OC, G4 style. She was a Pegasus and a Killjoy in the desert fighting bad guys with the band My Chemical Romance with stripy socks and Converse, of course. I like taking a cute kids franchise and taking a horror franchise and smushing them together. I think it appeals to a lot of people. I think it's hard to pull it off. Like sometimes it can look kind of edgy, and I'm a fan of edgy. I like edgy, but like, you know, it's something that does put some people on edge.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I will be like, la 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 la, shipping my ponies, putting the little pink love heart stickers on. Time to watch a documentary about something horrible that happened.
Well, I think part of it is I'm I'm responsible for so many cringy crossovers. So many, like
Don't get me started on my icon.
like on my YouTube channel, I've made an entire audiobook fanfiction that's like 3.5 hours long. That's just dungeon meshy characters, but they go to Five Nights at Freddy's.
I love that. Honestly, I'm like so here for the crossover.
And I think
Right?
it appeals to like the autistic need to smash my special interests together, but also when it's with something like Ponies, the canon would never do something like that. And something that I've noticed is in fandom, if it's not in canon, it's something that the fans want to explore more. If that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. Oh my gosh, my pony art when I was a teenager, it was all G4. I've taken it all down off my DeviantArt because I reached like 18 or 19 and got embarrassed of it, but I've come full circle and wish I hadn't deleted it because now I kind of think it was iconic. But I was like listening to a lot of sort of like dark cabaret style music, so there was a lot of like G4 My Little Ponies in like Victorian like cabaret,
Ooh.
like lingerie Moulin Rouge style costumes, doing like edgy steampunk things, like, you know, being in like Victorian mental asylums, but they were ponies. What was I doing? I don't know, but I was having fun. I was freer then than I am now, so slay, honestly. It was like they all had like stockings and like little lacy corsets and stuff and like really over the top hair.
I have like always really wanted. I have the big talking Princess Cadence doll.
Oh,
I've
I
always
love
really
her.
wanted to turn her into like Pony Corpse Bride.
Oh.
That would be amazing. That would be so
Yeah.
good. I only think of her because I refer to my partner as my husband because we've been together like 10 years and we live together. Like, it makes sense, but we're actually planning our wedding at the minute, and that means that he gets sent that picture of the big Cadence
and the ugly ass groom.
All the time. He gets sent that like once a week. Like, I'm planning something and I'm like, gonna be us BTW. He gets it so frequently, that meme.
The
Corpse
bride
Bride would
and
be
the
amazing,
ugly-ass
though.
groom.
She's asking for corpse bridification.
A lot of the pony fandom is like younger because of the target demographic and like, you know, but like when you're kind of growing up and developing, you do want to explore those darker themes, and it can be easier to do that if you connect it to something that you're interested in.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a common joke that especially like girls and kids that were like assigned female at birth don't play with dolls and ponies the way adults perceive them to. That it's not like, yes, Barbie, let's go for a princess picnic. It's like, Barbie, Ken cheated on you. And we have to find the murderer of Ken. And you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. LPS videos that are recreating like really historically dark topics.
The assassination of John F. Kennedy in LPS form. I've seen a screenshot of another video that was, I think, World War II.
But LPS! No!
I mean, like, I think it is like a funny and interesting art form, but like, my more regular person job is that I'm a kids entertainer, and kids are dark. Like, when I'm playing Belle, the most common thing that kids want to talk to Belle about, is it her dress? Is it her teapot friend? No, it's Gaston dying. Every single time. They are obsessed with it. They will not let it lie. And it's like so hard to deal with because I have to be like, who knows? Anyway, me and the Beast lived happily ever after. And the kid's like, yeah, but Gaston fell off the roof into the abyss.
Did you see his
Did he
body?
die? Yes, no, seriously. And then they go, and the Beast was stabbed, and you had his blood all over you, and he died in your arms. And I'm like, well, I was in love with him before the last petal fell, and he transformed into the prince, and we lived happily ever after. What I really want to be is like, yeah, Gaston fell, and it was gnarly as hell when he did, but like, I'm like, no, that's someone's 4-year-old. I have to... but they will not leave me alone about it.
You can't tell the kid what they want. The parents would not approve.
No, seriously, the same with Snow White. Terrible one for it. It's like, oh, what was it like when you ate the poison apple? When you were asleep and dead, what was it like? Did you dream? And it's like, Jesus, child, that's actually like a really existential question that a lot of adults grapple with. Did Snow White dream in her sleeping death? I don't know, that sounds like a Fallout Boy song.
Because either you say yes, and then they're going to ask, what did you dream about? Or you say, no, there was nothing, and now you've terrified this child of what comes when they die.
I usually just swerve it completely and go, oh, what I do remember is waking up to my prince and us living happily ever after and being so happy when I saw his face. Like, just completely swerving the question, because I'm like, oh man, I'd love to talk about, like,
it sucks though, because I bet for the kid they're so frustrated because the Disney princess
you can't in a
goddamn questions.
You can't in a workplace setting with like little kids.
Yeah.
Ariel as well, when they're like, oh yeah, and then you and Eric drove a ship through her and killed her, and it's like, what was it like to kill Ursula? And I'm like, oh, the battle was very tough, but then me and Eric got married, and that was lovely. And the kid's like, yeah, you drove a ship through her. And I'm like, part of your world. Like, oh my god, children. So yeah, I think people think it's really shocking to combine like dark stuff and kids stuff, but like kids are some of the darkest and most metal hardcore people around. They are. People don't give them enough credit for like the depth with which they actually perceive the world.
Well, yeah, people underestimate, like, oh, you don't understand anything because you're just, like, 6 or whatever. But, like, no, I feel like you're taking the kid for granted a bit.
Definitely. They might not have, like, the full context to see it with a mature perspective, but that doesn't mean they don't see it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, they perceive it on their level. They don't just completely not see, like, reality. But God, they want to know about Gaston. They want to know about Ponies. That's so bad.
I have a few questions about, like, the appeal of Generation 2. What do you think draws people, or draws fans towards this generation in particular? Like, what is the, like, because we've talked about some of the aesthetics, but what do you think, what are the main things to like about Generation 2?
Oh gosh, that's a really broad question.
Yeah.
Nostalgia is the obvious, broad, sweeping answer. It's notably vintage now, and people are looking back at it and having a fondness of it, and older fans that are like curating a broader appreciation for all pony generations are starting to like include it in their overarching love for ponies. And there is the nostalgia of the people that particularly grew up with it and it was their generation, which I think is a big one for a lot of people. But that isn't strictly it for me. Because I was born in 1997, same year as G2, but I was too young to grow up with it. I grew up with V3s mostly, but I had the G2 video game, so I do have some nostalgia for it. But I started really appreciating it as an adult because I just think it's so stinking cute. The art is so charming, and like I said, it coincides with things that are trendy at the minute. The 60s kitsch, vintage kawaii Japanese kitsch, Japanese fashion, and the style which the like Lolita dress prints are often illustrated in is very much like the G2 art style. They've got that sort of more Bambi-esque head shape and proportions. I personally say that G2 is like the most Disney version of My Little Pony that there's been. In the art style is definitely rooted in a lot of that 1940s and 50s Disney, the way they drew animals, the way they sort of drew the cheeks and the head proportions of like the baby bunnies in Bambi. have sort of the same proportions of head as a G2 pony and those eyes. So I think they look like Disney ponies in a way. They look like the baby Pegasuses from Fantasia in a lot of ways. So I think they've got really broad character design appeal that people are looking at it now. I see a lot on Tumblr, people posting stuff like, I was never into G2, but when you look at it, the art style's gorgeous. And it's like, yes, yes, it is. It's so gorgeous. And I think it's such a shame that it's the one that didn't get an animated series because it's so Disney. Some of those like whimsical Fantasia-esque animation sequences from like vintage Disney in the G2 art style they would be so dreamy. Like people would go nuts for it.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people are discovering it posthumously, and people are talking about it more. I talk about it on the internet all the time, and even some of my friends are kind of getting into it because they're like, oh, since you've yapped on so much about the beauty of these ponies, like I've really started to see something in them, and now I want to collect them. And I'm like, yes, do it. Just don't buy the ones on my wish list before I do, or I'll cry. But yeah, so it's complicated because nostalgia is like the easy, obvious answer, and it is true for a lot of people. But I'd say this might not be accurate, but I would relatively confidently say that there's probably as many active new G2 fans as like old G2 fans that were born in the early 90s and actually like had the toys as a kid. I think it's as close as we're going to get to a resurgence in popularity. Hasbro didn't do anything with it for the 40th anniversary.
Yeah.
We got 2 images, one on a magazine cover, like a comic book cover, and one just on like a Facebook banner that had G2 sort of Mike Wazowski in the background.
Yeah, it really doesn't get a lot of recognition from official, it doesn't get a lot of recognition from official sources, I've noticed.
It really doesn't, and I think people were expecting at least a bigger nod. I don't think people were super expecting like a ton of merch of G2 specifically, but I think we were expecting when they were to celebrate the whole history of My Little Pony. G3 got the same treatment, to be fair. They didn't even really like mention it apart from like some vague images shoved in like a photo collage, whereas G1 like the basic fun reproductions and stuff are popular anyway, but they were like G1, G4, they were like
yeah,
Twilight Sparkle and Medley. And no, there's no other ponies. There's nothing else happened. No other ponies. Just G1 and G4.
And that's kind of shocking to me that even G3 didn't really get much acknowledgement because a lot of the kids who were kids during G3 are adults now, so it's kind of popular with nostalgia posters right now.
Yeah, the Y2K like girly pop, pastel pink aesthetic mood board. They've all got G3 ponies on at the minute. Like you cannot find like a Y2K aesthetic scrapbook pack that doesn't at least have like one picture of a Bratz doll and one picture of a G3 pony in it. It's so on trend, not only with the people that grew up with it, but I feel like even younger Gen Zs and like kids that are doing vintage aesthetics are enjoying G3, so it's really strange that they didn't give it a shout out at all. I know I've said this on the trading post that I have mixed feelings about it because the more Hasbro buries and forgets about G2, the easier it is to operate what I'm doing without worrying that there's going to be a letter through my door telling me to stop. So on a selfish point of view, it benefits me that they're ignoring G2, and I do fundamentally think that it's better in the hands of the fans anyway, because I don't think anybody working at Hasbro is as passionate about it as the people online that are like dedicating their heart and soul to it. So I'm happy for it to belong to us now. But it is a shame that it gets snubbed. It's a shame that the opportunities to attract a new fan base are limited by it not getting any like proper media attention. I definitely feel like G3 and G2 would do better with teens than G1. G1 is iconic and always will be beloved, but I think G2 and G3 have a lot more for like Gen Alpha than G1 does. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not a marketing person for a big company, but they seem to have fumbled the bag a little bit.
I think going into that, I wanted to ask, what do you guys think could have been had the generation continued, like, on a broader scope worldwide, or if it was more popular? Because a lot of people look at G2, and I think people think it has some missed potential just because it was kind of snubbed, it was kind of cut short, like it was snubbed of a show. What do you think would have changed about it?
It's kind of hard to sort of extrapolate on where it could have gone based on like the fact that the world building is so flimsy. You know, I can't even like massively fan fiction in my brain based on the crumbs that we were given. So it's hard to sort of imagine how much further they could have taken such limited sort of world building and characterization. I think I said earlier that it seemed towards the end of the franchise that they were running out of steam. And that's another thing that makes it hard to sort of imagine where it could have gone, is that loads of the playsets from 2000 onwards are just reused other playsets from other toy brands. Like they got really lazy. So by the time it ended, there's not a whole lot of like inspiring, innovative product design there. I know that there was a prototype found for one of a bigger like sweet talking G2.
Oh wow.
Like with the same mechanism like of the speaker in the belly as the G1s had. That would have been really cool.
That would have been awesome.
Yeah, that never made it out of prototype staging, but there was one of those found. So they clearly were looking back at what worked in the past and trying to innovate. And I mean, they did innovate with like a lot of the gimmicks, but in some ways they innovated too hard. Like, why are you turning a pony's head 360 like The Exorcist? And why does that make its tail spin at like 100 miles an hour? Like, I can't imagine a play scenario, apart from if you're recreating The Exorcist, where that gimmick is useful in a pony.
Well, no, it's useful because the target demographic is little girls, and they love recreating scary stuff.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, I was the kind of child that would be recreating The Exorcist with My Little Ponies, so maybe they were really onto something. I guess. Yeah, I feel like it was a trial and error generation, and they probably scrapped a lot of stuff because it was errors. I know what I would have liked to have seen. The big one is molded wings.
Oh, yes.
The wings that also are a hair clip for you to wear is A, cheap, because you don't have to make a new pony mold, which is like the most expensive part of the process. And B, annoying for collectors because, yeah, kids would wear them as hair accessories and then, like, lose them at school. Or break them because they were made of really delicate plastic. And all the teeth of the hair clips snapped really easily, so then you couldn't even put them back on your pony. So properly molded Pegasus wings would have been game-changing. That's a personal bugbear. And an animation would have taken it very far. I feel like a lot of what we did see of the world building leads in very nicely to G3. which is also a continuation of G1. You've got like the princesses in the castle, you've got like the little village. The sort of having a village of ponies that had jobs like a stylist and a dance teacher and all that definitely transferred into G3, and G3 built upon that a lot. And I personally think the G3 playsets were the best ever in terms of playability. Like, they all could do stuff. They all had like loads of play potential. The salon, the dance studio, the castle, things lit up, things did sounds, like absolutely brilliant playset design. I think G3 definitely carried on what G2 tried to do, but like couldn't quite get there, and then like G3 just finessed it and like really knocked out the park in terms of playset design. And then the animated movies to go along with it. And I think the internet as well, being able to go on mylittlepony.com and play the games on the website that linked into the movie you just watched. Definitely they hit that sweet spot. Like the early internet, those like flash games, it was just able to do what G2 wasn't able to do. So I guess in my mind, if G2 had carried on, it would have evolved into everything that G3 had, except they looked like G2 ponies, not like G3 ponies. I don't know if it's really controversial saying that G3 had the best playsets ever, but like that is a hill I would die on.
They had pretty good, like, I have, at the Goodwill bins, I found an incomplete Butterfly Island, and it was like 10 minutes before they closed, so I was like crying. I was crying, panicking, like, Mom, help me get this in the cart. But, like, it's got, like, moving pieces, waterfalls, you can move the ponies up and down, their magnets connect to, like, accessories. I feel like...
They serve. I know with that one, there's juice in a juice bar, and the juice is full, and when your pony goes up and puts her foot on the juice bar, the juice goes down.
Oh, yeah!
The magnets. Like, genius!
I've seen that in the commercial, but I'm missing, like, half the pieces. I need to complete it someday.
I had Butterfly Island as a kid. I had the whole set. I got it at some point. I had everything, and then I got rid of it because I was stupid.
I guess when I wrote that question, I didn't think too hard about what my answer would be, but but I do think it's very interesting to think about if G2 playsets had like continued like innovating, because I feel like G2 did try to innovate a lot with a lot of their toys having moving parts with like mostly the heads and tails moving, but like I have Lady Cupcake, and her nose has a magnet that makes this wedding birthday cake thing, and it makes it, like, rise because it connects. So, like, I feel like they could have been headed in that direction if they had continued with those ideas.
I totally agree. There was some wacky, but quite advanced innovation, like the magnet noses. I think it was just like wrong place, wrong time, because it just didn't hit for whatever reason. But I do think it laid more groundwork for the next generations than people give it credit for, especially how it led into like the G3 playsets and their magnetic gimmicks that like every pony had pretty much, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
But the G3 gimmicks were more sensible, you know? You had a magnet in the hoof. It didn't really interfere with the playing with the pony if you just wanted to play with the pony and brush its hair, but if you wanted to interact with the playset, it could. G2 definitely sacrificed some aesthetic for gimmick, because the legs that move are like made of a different plastic to the rest of the pony sometimes.
I have my light heart is articulated. She's very strange.
Oh yes, the one that there's the light heart that lays down that is not any kind of PVC at all and is just entirely like hard plastic parts like a toy
Yep.
car.
Yeah.
They could have given
That's
her
my
like a
Lightheart.
PVC. They could have at least given her like PVC body and head, and then just weird leg joints. They didn't have to. They didn't have to do her like that.
From the canopy bed. I know you were specifically struggling with that because you wanted to like clean her out or replace her hair because she had something like dirty or rusty in her head or something.
She had something like in her head that as I was washing her hair, it would keep, and like I was worried, that my mom had gotten mascara on the comb, so I washed the comb, everything. No other pony has ever been stained by the comb, but I would brush her and comb her hair out, and just this black staining would come up onto it, and I don't know what it is, and I can't get her head off to
Oh no,
to
she
clean
got
it
the
out.
smooth.
Oh no, the
Yeah.
smooth.
The smooth. It got
It's
to
in
her.
her head.
I know a common problem with that Lightheart as well is that plastic can yellow really badly,
Yeah.
whereas
Yeah, I've
PVC
seen that.
doesn't really. So like some of those Lighthearts have turned like borderline orange.
Yeah.
like
I don't,
in like
I
a
don't
hideous,
think mine has
crusty
yellowed,
way.
but yeah,
That's good.
mine hasn't yellowed, but I've seen that.
Yeah, they certainly were trying new things, and that is good. It might have also partly been their undoing,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but it was cool.
All right. Well, sorry that we talked for like 2 hours about that.
No, I love it. I
Now
love
we actually
it.
get to talk about your project.
Yeah, now we can finally move into talking about Project G2-Redo. Now that we're like talking about like what could have been, just in case any of our viewers have missed the previous episode, let's give a brief recap of what the project is. And also we can describe some of the things that have been updated since we last talked about it. Project G2-Redo is your fan-made project that's recreating the Generation 2 toy mold for customizers. So essentially, it's kind of like we were talking about high-quality G1 customs. Those folks, they recreated the poses using like vinyl plastic, and then they sell them to people. That's sort of what you're doing. You're recreating but you're recreating it for Generation 2.
Yeah, I definitely have been quite open about obviously the inspiration that HQG1C has provided. They've been on the go for ages. I've spoken to the guy that like started it and runs it. He helped me a lot with the process. Our processes are very similar in some ways, very different in other ways. I obviously like can't reveal any secrets, especially from like another person's production process, but it's interesting to see how two very similar fan projects can be so similar and so different. I think I was feeling very much like I needed some G2s to work on personally, custom-wise, that weren't precious, lovely, vintage, hard-to-find toys.
Mm-hmm.
I felt so bad, even the Beatty ones, taking them apart, because some of the characters are so hard to find that like removing one from circulation forever feels like a sin. And I was already aware of those actual official blank G3s that were like, they actually made like a design your own pony kit.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went to PonyCon in the UK and saw Little Starglow Pony's stall with the blank HQG1Cs. And I was like, are these for customizing? And she was like, yeah, like they're from this guy in America. He does these and like characters, and she had like some of the spikes and some of the cats as well. And she was like, yeah, they're like brand new, factory made, but you can dye them, you can color them. And I was like, that's literally like what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And had been like talking about doing on the forum for a few months. When I had that discovery, I think I was talking about it since like the May of that year, and then went to PonyCon and saw the HQ G1Cs, and I was like, hallelujah. I think I initially asked him. He goes by Clipper online. I was like, hey, you do these G1s, you should do G2s because, yeah, I want them. And I remember his response being like, oh, we keep thinking about it, but G1 is the passion and the thing that we know about and the thing that our audience wants from us mostly. It's a big investment to like have a completely new mold made for something that isn't necessarily like the thing you're most passionate about, because like you gotta really be passionate to put this level of effort in. And I was like, yeah, no, that's fair. I should do it.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'd say the rest is history. There was a bit of a process. There was a process of like, can I do this myself? Can I 3D print them on my resin printer using flexible rubbery resin to imitate PVC? Can I set up a little factory making them one by one, like in my shed with like a furnace and a steel mold? No, because I can't make a steel mold. I could melt PVC into a steel mold, but I have no means of having a steel mold. And eventually it just became really obvious that like, no, you can't produce factory standard vinyl toys in your shed. You need a factory.
Well, yeah. So how did you go about like planning the project and reaching out to those factories for producing the toys?
I looked and spoke to some factories in China, and obviously ended up going with the UK production company. Partly it was because even though like toys made in China obviously do meet all like the safety standards they have to be imported, it was a lot easier to discuss all the like legal specifications with a UK based team. Obviously the Chinese factory is very professional, speak fantastic English, but we're on different time zones.
Yeah.
And it ended up being the shipping, like it would have been cheaper to produce them in China, but shipping such a massive amount of cargo across the world was so expensive that it kind of cost the same as just getting it done in the UK. And I had the benefit of like if something went wrong, I could like, you know, go down to where they were being produced. Like I could just pick up the phone and speak to them, like we're on the same landline network, etc. Like it just kind of made sense to pick the UK factory. And they were really helpful. They had like a big portfolio of vinyl toys. I got like good vibes from them.
Nice.
So once I knew where I would get them produced and had a quote for how much it would be, the big problem was financing it, because like, oh my gosh, it's not cheap. And I obviously did not have like the personal funds to invest in a business. I'd literally just bought a house, so I was not particularly in the market for a loan, even for business purposes. And it is a passion project, and we are doing well, but you know, it would have been not a risky loan. I had the confidence that there was enough demand, and the sales are proving that.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, it potentially is a worrying business proposal to hear from somebody like, oh, I'm gonna replicate these 90s My Little Ponies and people are gonna go nuts for them. It's like, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
sure. Like if you were at the bank, would you give me a loan? Because I wouldn't. But thankfully, as quite a lot of people know, the lovely Dark Liz on the Trading Post forum just stepped up to invest the initial cost, and I was completely gobsmacked, but overjoyed, obviously. It was incredibly generous of them, and we work out a portion of the profits to repay their investment, etc. Yeah, wonderful. We had a factory. We had the cost fronted. We went and we did it, and then 1,000 ponies came to my house, and it was like the best day of my life.
So what was the process like, actually working with the factory to, like, refine the design of the toy, like, working out the different production flaws and issues to actually have them produced and for sale? Like, did you send them, like, examples of, like, maybe bait ponies that you had or something? Or, and if you want, you can talk about that.
Yeah, so yes, they did get a bait pony from me. They got a pretty parlor Ivy that didn't have much hair to begin with and didn't have any gems in her eyes. So, and she had like some brown patches on her. So she was picked as the tribute to be sent to the factory. But they actually weren't molded from her. I actually was like, oh yeah, I'll just send you a pony and you can just like take a mold. Done. And they were like, it's a bit more complicated than that. Like, we don't take molds up directly from items anymore. It's digital. And I was like, oh yes, of course it is, because we don't live in like the 1800s. Like, I was probably like imagining like people still hand carving models and taking like practical molds of them like they would do in like the 60s and 70s, but no, of course it's digital. Like, why wouldn't it be? So they did have the Ivy for reference, which was mostly used for sort of scale and like the firmness of it. The actual mold was made from 3D models that I mostly produced. I went down to my local library, very punk, very cool, and used their 3D scanner to scan another pony. I think it was a sky skimmer. I scanned her head and her body, and that provided the like base 3D model that I then refined a lot in ZBrush, and I sent them the STL file, and then they made some changes to it and sent it back to me, and then I'd be like, no, you've changed the shape of her head. It needs to go back to how it was. And they were like, oh yeah, sorry, we smoothed out some areas and flattened them, and so it took a while. Like, I thought it would just be like, here's the pony, go, but it actually took like well over a year of sort of back and forth conversations about just even like the minutiae of things, like the holes for the eye gems. I was like, nope, that one's too shallow, that one's not defined enough, like that one's good, but by putting it in there the way you've edited the file, you've like lost the definition of the sculpt around the eye. I bet they hate me because I was like really, really perfectionist. But you know, a lot of money had been put into this project, and like I kind of felt like everyone that was excited for it was like counting on me to deliver something good, and also like nobody would buy it if it was not good.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they were like, how's this one? And I'd be like, just make these really microscopic tweaks. And then they'd send it back and I'd be like, no, do it again. No, it was definitely more of a back and forth dialogue where we ended on the final model. I got prototypes in the mail, which was really exciting. I have 3 different prototypes from different stages. The first one was like mad squishy. She looked really, really good, but she was like jelly. Really. So like after we'd refined the 3D model part, there was the going back and forth about like the firmness of the PVC, like how much PVC to put into the mold to get the right like thickness, like wall thickness, and then how much like elasticizer to put in to give them enough squish that they can be manipulated for customizing with the heads coming off, and they can take a bit of wear and tear because they're flexible, but firm enough that they definitely keep their shape, that they don't have too much elasticizer in, because that's the thing that sort of leaks out over time with some really vintage ponies and makes them kind of gooey. Although modern PVC, like PVC technology, has come a long way from like 70s and 80s PVC, and the chemicals used to create it are a lot more efficient now. So plasticizer leakage shouldn't happen with modern toys the way it does with vintage ones, which is great.
Yeah.
But I also was like, don't put too much elasticizer in. For the love of God, we don't need gooey ponies. But I am thinking about longevity. I don't just want these to be like something that people make and then throw away. I can't imagine that people will go to all the effort of customizing a beautiful pony and then just being like, well, whatever.
Yeah.
That they are something for people to have on their shelves for a long time, so I wanted to make sure that they would hold up for a long time. And I've had a lot of compliments about the level of firmness, but also slight squishiness, and how they're like perfect and just like the vintage ones. And I'm like, thank you so much, because I was so annoying to the factory, being like, this one's too soft, this one's too firm. Like,
this one's just like right.
Literally like the Goldilocks of pony design. But yes, after 3 prototypes, I did say, like, ding, 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 let's go. Turn the machine on. Let's make some horses. And like that was very exciting. A bit nerve-wracking, because I was like, I'd spent at this point over a year like back and forth being a perfectionist over it. So to actually like green light the production, I was like, what if I've not been enough of a perfectionist? have I overthought this enough, or is there like room for some more overthinking? But no, they came out really, really well. I just, the day they arrived was just incredible. It was just so fun. There's a lot of prep behind the scenes, mostly hoarding boxes. Like our downstairs utility cupboard that it's supposed to be for like gardening equipment and like a spare cat litter tray and like holiday decorations. I was like, it's cardboard box town now. Oh, you wanna get the strimmer out? Tough. It's underneath 500 cardboard boxes, mostly cat food packaging. So that there was a point before the ponies arrived where my husband would like open the cupboard and nearly be drowned in like an avalanche of bubble wrap and be like, is this necessary, or are we just hoarding cardboard boxes in here? And it did get a bit obscene, but I'm nearly out. My stash is low to the point where I've been like looking at my cat and being like, could you eat more? How fast can we get through these boxes of cat food? Because like I really need the boxes, actually. They're perfect size for ponies. So can you eat more, cat? Do you need a sister? Or like 5 maybe? There's a whole cat food eating production line to get me those boxes.
I can send your Ren. She eats forever.
Amazing. Send her my way. There's 12 tins of cat food in a box, so if she can get through 3 a day, that's a good box every few days.
She will eat herself to death. She can do it.
Well, that's counterproductive. We don't want her to go that far. We need her to keep eating. But yeah, it does make me also another way that it impacts my social life is that if we are like out shopping and somebody gets something in like a good box, I'm like, that's a good box, that's a really good size, could you save that for me?
I also wanted to ask, what are aspects of like toy creation, production, distribution that you think most people wouldn't even think to consider? Like most average people, they're like, oh yeah, that's a cool hobby, but like, what things do you think would surprise people to hear about, but they don't really think to ask?
It's 95% emails. maybe different if you actually like work in the factory, obviously. But as somebody commissioning a company to produce things, it's all emails. I mean, I could have gone down to the factory. The thing about the UK is that the factory is like a few hours drive, and I know to Americans that's like an afternoon trip for funsies. Like you guys will go like 20 minutes to get a Starbucks. I like in the UK, like you wouldn't even get out of bed for a Starbucks. We do not go far. People will live like half an hour down the road from each other and like see each other once a year because it's too far to go. So I could have gone down to the factory, but it's just not the British way. When you can send a politely worded email, it was all emailing. I might see if I can snag a trip if we get the next production going, just because I would like to see, and it'd be good for the social media to show people what goes on. But yeah, it's a lot of emailing and a lot of checking this minor tweak, go back to the drawing board. Probably sound like a crazy perfectionist to the people that have been in that industry for years and are like, yeah, Jesus, lady, we know what we're doing. Like, stop being so picky and stressy. But I just wanted to make sure it was perfect. I'd say that the safety stuff is not inhibitive, but you have to like. I had to read up all of the like UK law, European law, especially like Europe is quite strict. Not to be too political, but the UK left the European Union, and that meant that we don't have the same laws as they do anymore. Like we're not governed by their quality control standards for like child safety and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So like I had to like read up on what would make a product sellable in the UK, and then in Europe, America's kind of quite similar to the UK, so that was like, but also the factory were really keen on that because it's their livelihood at stake. Obviously they can't produce unsafe toys, but as far as I was concerned, like these aren't toys for kids, they are an art tool. They're like a blank canvas designed for adult use, and they are safe for kids, and kids could customize them, no problem. They have to be safe for children to be produced. But the factory, obviously, like they really cared about that, and I was like, yeah, well, you know, people will be like dipping them in like toxic dye and spraying them with resin and doing all sorts of crazy stuff to them. So like, don't worry about it. And they were like, no, they need to be safe. Like if a 3-year-old chews on one, it needs to like not be toxic. And I was like, yeah, probably that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a lot of emails and a lot of sort of bureaucracy and legal stuff. That doesn't mean it was boring. It was really fun and exciting. But the most exciting part was the end product being delivered and, you know, getting to see them and touch them and taste every single one individually to
make sure that it wouldn't give those 3-year-olds toxins.
Oh no! Well, to be fair, I've licked all the toxins off myself.
Oh, great!
So, for me,
I think that's a very interesting thing to examine with like fan-made projects like this, because a lot of these are geared towards like the older customizers, because customizing is kind of an adult hobby. Like you're stabbing the horse with needles, you're using all these chemicals, and it's interesting because like ponies themselves, a lot of people would see that as like a little girl's toy, and so that's kind of an interesting like target demographic thing to consider with like toy production.
Definitely. I'm actually gonna, I mean, this isn't forbidden knowledge, it's actually quite commonly talked about on like old Barbie forums and pony customizing forums, but old PVC is not as safe as modern PVC. 80s and even 90s like G2 ponies, some of the chemicals used to produce that plastic probably would not be approved today. And this isn't like an endorsement for my ponies, but like if you were to chew a G1 and chew one of my G2-Redos, you would be worse off by chewing the G1.
Yeah.
Old plastic is it's not like super dangerous, it's not unsafe to let your kids play with your vintage ponies, but like you do need to be mindful if they're like putting them in the mouth too much, because they can over time leak stuff like the plasticizers and chemicals that the small exposure, even from like licking one, probably not that bad, but it's not ideal, is it? Like you've got the choice for your child to ingest it or not ingest it. Like you probably want to not. So yeah, it's a big part of it, but also like it does show that toys have come a long way in terms of safety.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just when you think about like some of the G2 accessories, like some of the earrings and stuff, those are swallowable.
Yeah.
Easily swallowable. Like toys
Yeah.
are so much safer nowadays. Even though G2-Redos are not, kids aren't the target demographic, but ironically they're probably on paper safer for kids than like some vintage toys.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe this is tangential, but I recently picked up, we'll probably touch more on this when we talk about pony news way later, but they recently released these like retro sewing kits of Snuzzle and Sunlight from Generation 1, like plushes that you could sew of them. And the sewing needles is like a big piece of plastic, and it's not sharp at all. Like people are saying that they ripped the fabric because it's not made for sewing, but it's safe. So like I feel like a lot of this, like it came at the expense of it being functional. But I feel like thinking about that and then comparing that to older toys where like I've had people tell me don't put your sea pony in water because that is like dangerous, like plastic, like the chemicals in the plastic, comparing it to like today's chemicals and toys. Just a lot of stuff has changed, and I always think that's really interesting to think about.
Yeah.
I guess it's fundamentally, obviously, like prioritizing kids' safety is a good thing. I feel like that's a very like the bar is on the floor statement to make. But stuff like the sewing needle not actually being able to pierce the fabric. I mean, I don't really know what the solution would be, but I had craft kits as a kid that came with not super sharp sewing needles, but enough to like go through the felt or like basket material that came in the craft kit. But obviously, probably some kids did hurt themselves with that.
Yeah.
Because, sewing needles definitely can be very dangerous. But then, like, some toys now come with resin.
Oh, yeah! Oh, that is crazy!
Yeah. Like, the make your own doll accessories, cast them in epoxy resin, and it's like, I wear a respirator and latex gloves and open all my windows and have, like, 10 million spider plants when I work with resin. Like, no, don't give that to kids.
I know.
No.
That was really shocking to see.
Yeah. The needle thing is also especially odd to me because I was given craft kits as a kid, but like needle crafts and stuff, I wasn't doing that alone. You have parental guidance.
Unsupervised.
Yeah.
But I think she made a video about this, Audra Floor, about, I think it was like this Monster High kit or something. I don't know if it was Monster, it might have been Rainbow High. It was Rainbow High, and they really...
I didn't want to name and shame, but I cannot let my beloved Monster High be slandered.
Sorry, I'm very dumb, okay? I hear the word high and I get them confused. But, I think she made a video, like, questioning, like, the safety of,
Yeah, because, like, if a sewing needle is too dangerous because you don't think that the kids will have, like, parental supervision, don't give kids resin.
Definitely. Yeah. Like, if your kid can't be trusted with a sewing needle, they cannot be trusted with resin.
Yeah,
definitely. There's so many more things that can go wrong. I mean, obviously a needle is sharp, but, like, resin is not great to breathe in, can be very irritating to the skin. The quality of the resin itself is a huge factor in that. If ingested, bad.
Yeah.
Also, if it goes on stuff, like, that's your carpet ruined. If you got resin, if you could spill the resin craft kit on your carpet, like, that's your carpet gone.
Yeah.
The consequences are, I think, broadly bigger. Obviously, a needle could have some rare but extremely serious injuries, but broadly, I would say that resin is typically more risky.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm an adult and I'm nervous to use resin.
Order of Lore made this video talking about the MGA dolls that had do-it-yourself resin stuff for like little kids to play with, and so I'll link that just because I think it was interesting to think about.
Just instead of resin, like, just use shrinky dinks. Use the shrinking paper that you stick in the oven to make a little plastic accessory. That's
Making
so much
your own
safer.
accessories for your doll kits have been around forever, like for years, decades, like the Barbie fashion designer things where they give you like some bits of fabric and like some very basic doll outfit patterns and like ones where you do it out of paper and stuff. Like, you don't need resin
Yeah.
to make doll accessories. Kids especially. I do make doll accessories out of resin, but I'm an adult. As a kid I didn't need to be doing that. Craft paper, bits of felt, some like kid-friendly glue, and some sequins. Like, that's you could accessorize everything with those. Resin should not be on the table.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's also like
that was quite shocking.
It's complex to use. You've got to like mix stuff, and there's ratios. It's not like an easy thing for a kid to use.
Yeah, it's not super great to handle it in its raw form, but also if you don't mix the quantities right, or you get like some moisture in it, or it doesn't harden properly, and then it leaks toxic stuff. Like, it only stops being harmful if it like cures correctly and hardens off and keeps all the nasty stuff locked in like the plastic. And even then, like, it's not great. It's still full of nasty stuff, but when used correctly and like within reason, it's fine. But trusting a kid to like get the like scientific chemical ratios correct enough that the end product is then safe for the kid to continue to use, that's heavy. That's a big expectation.
Yeah, I don't know if it like comes ready to use or what in the
MGA kit.
in the toy, but yeah.
I don't know enough about it. Most resins are 2 parts and you mix them together, which like sparks the chemical reaction to harden it. But I think there might be like one component resins, maybe. I just think there's so much that can go wrong.
Yeah.
I just don't think kids should be handling that.
Yeah.
So with all of that, I think it is good that they're like trying to make sure that their safety regulations are up to code, considering it could be so much worse if you were putting resin in the toys.
Absolutely. Yeah, but I'd rather give my kid a Snuzzle craft kit. I mean, I don't have a kid, but hypothetically, my cat. I would trust my cat way more with a plushy Snuzzle than with my resin equipment, which I actually barricade my door when I'm using because she is always trying to be in my business. So, yeah. Don't give your cats resin. It's the tip of the day.
Yeah.
Tip of the day. Don't use any chemical weapons against the ones you love.
Do not use chemical warfare against your own children or cats or doll collection.
This is also why. There's a joke to be made here about there's a running gag we have here where we joke about this person who would take pictures of their vintage ponies and food, and they would put their sea ponies, which have lead inside of them, inside of like soups and smoothies, and just sticking the toy in there.
Lead poisoning.
Lead poisoning.
I mean, there's a reason why us die-hard pony collectors are the way that we are, and maybe it's a medical diagnosis.
it's the
Maybe-
lead
Oh no!
Yeah, maybe it's the amount of various chemicals we've ingested over our lives in the pursuit of small plastic causes.
I mean, also with like
The
customizing,
pony.
even paint you use can be dangerous. Like, you're not supposed to use cadmium red because it's a very dangerous, dangerous chemical. I just buy the $10 kit of whatever acrylic paints are at Walmart, and I'm like, ooh, I probably should not be using this. And then I used it anyways because I'm dumb.
I think I might be wrong
I'm
on this,
painting.
but I think you probably are right in that cadmium red is kind of rare as well now.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
there's a good chance cheap paints don't have it purely because it's like an expensive supply. But
Yeah.
like green used to be made with arsenic, and in the Victorian
yeah.
era, people would be
Yeah.
like, why do I always faint in the hallway with the lovely green wallpaper? Why does it make me feel
With
so
the-
ill?
The children's toys painted with lead paint. The kids putting the lead in their mouth.
Oh no. Yeah, I know that's also like there's kind of like a famous trope about like many famous artists becoming ill in the past, and part of that is just because of dangerous materials in the paint.
That's part of the aesthetic, though, isn't it? That's what I'm going to reach artistic infamy greatness by using my resin and plasticizers in my craft room. And
I'll just
notorious.
I'll just huff the vintage ponies directly because I know that the chemicals aren't great, but I love the smell of them.
Well, this is the beauty of appreciating like all the generations of ponies, is that you don't have to choose between like your grandparents with their lead poisoning or like being a Gen Z with microplastics, because like we've got it all.
Yay!
You collect all generations of ponies. You can min max the whole lot. I got lead. I got microplastics. I got things that haven't even been discovered yet. I actually changed my Facebook. I had like owner of Project G2-Redo as like one of my jobs on my Facebook page, and I changed it the other day to Chief Plastic Taster and CEO of Project G2-Redo, which felt very relevant to this conversation.
It's an important job. Someone's got to do it.
You gotta. This is why it took so long
It
to
has
produce
to
them, because I had to taste
accurate to the
had to
old
taste test all the
old
different
G2.
plastics. Exactly, and the French ones taste different to the American ones, so I had to like sample all the different G2s.
A new product idea. You can steal this. Flavored G2 redos. Like you
like scented horses, but it's flavored.
like
G3 had the scented ponies, and my god, I spent so long as a child sniffing those, so that really probably explains a lot about me.
I had the orange one, and my sister got me the rest of the childhood ponies I was missing, like in box. So I've got a brand new Citrus Sweetheart, and my god, her smell! I could smell her for the rest of my life, and I'd be happy doing that. I'd be happy doing that and nothing else.
Those scented ponies were scrummy. They were scrummy, like Polly Pocket cloves, scrummy.
Yeah, you've gotta bring over the wonderfulness of the scented G3s into taste.
That would be such a good April Fool's post, actually. I mean, it's ruined now because we discussed it unless you.
No, we'll
unless
cut it
you
out. We'll cut it out.
Oh, but
Cut it
it's
out,
too
Casey.
funny. It's too funny to not include. But like, imagine announcing like like scratch and sniff, like scratch and lick. Have a taste. What does she taste like?
Yeah, the thing with the scented ones is if you keep them out of the boxes for a while, they will like kind of fade. But if you like put them in a bag or something for like a week, if you like torture her for a week, then the smell will come back really strong. Because I've had ponies like I'll buy them and the seller puts them in like a bag or something and puts them like up for sale in the antique mall or something. And then when I unbox it, it smells so strong for like a week and then it goes away.
That's a really interesting restoration tip. I just assumed that like once the smell had evaporated, it was like gone forever. I didn't know that the plastic would sort of like keep emitting the smell if you
It's
enclose
still
it.
there. You just have to torture your pony into making more.
Well, I have two scented ponies. I have a G3 one, chocolate chipper. Her smell is exactly like this was before Build-A-Bear was popular. But when I was like 7, 8, 9, I had a Build-A-Bear special interest, and one of our first ones was a Dairy Queen crossover one, and they all had different scented ones, and the one we had was a cookie dough one, and it smells very similar to chocolate chip or G3. But
Oh, that sounds good.
she
That's
smells like
doable.
cookies, cookie dough, that kind of smell. But the other one I have is a G1 sherbet, like the ice cream ponies. They had smells, and she smelled for like a week or so after I took her out of the package because she was closed in the box, and it's like this very like faint vanilla ice creamy smell, and it's very lovely.
That is so cool. I think G2, that's the one gimmick they didn't try was smells. Maybe that's where it all went wrong. The thing
Product
is,
idea.
I get like Barbie dolls, and there's so many Barbies where like the legs and feet have been chewed by kids, and I just think like, what child is looking at a Barbie doll's feet and thinking, if somebody chewed a scented pony, I would get it. Like if I saw a scented G3 that was a bit chewed on, I'd be like, yeah, that tracks. Like I can see why a child would have a little nibble on that. But
Kids just like to chew on things. One of my siblings would come into my room because they didn't have any of their toys anymore, and I still did at this point. They would come into my room, grab my toys, and start chewing on them. And it's like, what are you doing? Stop chewing on my toys, because you just gotta chew. You just gotta bite things.
That would infuriate me. I don't have any siblings, and sometimes my mom gives me the whole like, do you ever wish those? And I'm like, no, I don't, because like I can't imagine anything worse than like nicely lining my ponies up when I was a kid, only for like some god awful siblings going like kiss them all over. I would have been like in a perpetual state of like meltdown and crisis if there'd been another me around ruining my life as a kid. Like, I didn't even like playing with my ponies with other people. I mean, this is just get this girl an autism diagnosis. But like, I would like line them all up and like set out the play sets. Like the castle would always be like at the top of the village, and all the different shops would go in the places, and the princess ponies went in the castle, and they all stood in like nice poses. And you know, the seamstress pony would stand outside her shop with her sewing machine, and then my mum would be like, "Take your friends upstairs, you know, like, go play with your ponies. You got them all out." And I'd be like, looking at her like, "Mother," to me, and she'd be like, "Yeah, go on, take them up, show them your ponies." And I'd give her like the look of like, "Mother, we have discussed this." And then like my friends would come and play with my ponies, and they would like mess the hair up and take them on adventures and make them do out of character things. Like, no, Rainbow Dash like sew dresses and be fancy, because like this was G3.
Yeah.
And then like I'd have to pick up the pieces of my broken life
No.
after every pony and put them all back nicely and fix all the hair. And my mum would be like, "Oh, wasn't that nice? So playing with your ponies," and I would be like, "Why have you done this to me?" So a sibling would have driven me absolutely nuts.
I don't know if my friends ever played with my ponies, but I know that me and this sibling shared a room, so we played a lot of toys together because we're close in age, and we shared a room, so we played together. I don't know if they ever played with my ponies. Like, I had a huge dollhouse, and we would never put the people in there. It was always like My Littlest Pet Shops, our dinosaurs, pirates.
I mean, that just sounds fun.
Yeah.
I would play that now. I'd play Pet Shop Pirate Dinosaurs. That's amazing.
I
don't know if they ever played with the ponies though, but thankfully I never styled their hair, so it didn't matter.
I feel bad for you specifically, because you got all of my childhood LPS, and those were my bath toys as a kid. Like I'd bring them in the bath, I would run them through the dirt.
Mine were my bath toys too. I don't care, and also the rust isn't hard. Rust from the neck springs isn't too hard to get off Littlest Pet Shops. You can just use like a hand sanitizer, and it'll come right off.
Oh, that's not too
I don't know
bad.
how safe that is for the toy, but the rust will come off.
The mold is extra. The mold is a bonus.
Yeah, it's a tasty bonus.
Yeah, my brother.
Sometimes I do swimming parties, like as Ariel, and kids will bring like their Ariel dolls that have like been in the like wet bathroom for 2 months, and like they are grungy, and they're like, "Look, it's Ariel, it's you, you're Barbie. Let's play Barbies in the pool." And I'm like, "Thank God this water's chlorinated because there was like a whole fungal colony living in Barbie's armpit." Like, girl.
Yeah.
I'm glad
Clean
that.
your bath toys.
Well, this makes me glad that one, there is a community of people who restore those kind of problems, and that is the toy collector community who likes restoration. And two, it makes me glad that when I was a kid, my brother didn't care about the ponies at all, and so the only person playing them with me was my older cousin, and she taught me how to like comb their hair and braid their hair. Like she taught me how to like make them look nice, at least.
That's really nice. I mean, in my parents' defense of speculating whether or not I should have had a sibling, the mental image I have of like probably a boy, probably like a brother that would be like a tornado, like coming through and like just wrecking all my stuff. It might probably wouldn't have been like that because
Yeah.
like I am the way I am because my dad is the way that he is, and my grandma was the way that she is. So genetically, chances are a sibling would have probably also liked to line ponies up and make them look nice and not just kick all my stuff down the stairs. But my perception of what having a sibling might have been like is very much
Scary.
informed by like cartoons where like the younger sibling just puts everything in their mouth and ruins everything.
Yeah, if that sibling did play with my ponies with me, like if we were violent with the ponies, I was doing the same thing. I'm gonna throw my toys. I'm gonna. I never damaged my ponies, but I was never like too worried about like the state my toys were in.
Yeah, no, I did have some toys that I played with my friends with that were like a bit more casual. So we weren't like rough with my Bratz dolls, but they like went on like wild, age inappropriate adventures, like going to Vegas and in the car and getting run over and stuff. So my Bratz dolls went through it a little bit, but they ended up still relatively in really good condition. I donated them to a friend a few years ago, and when I opened up the bag, I remember the sort of like epic action movie scenarios that those girls got themselves into and was expecting the worst, and they were actually all pretty nice. So that was good.
Yeah, I don't remember, but like a pony probably like fell off the rescue rangers tower or something.
R.I.P.
The ponies probably didn't
pony.
have just all nice adventures on the beach.
I do really like that my cousin taught me how to do the pony's hair and like treat them all nice, because it came full circle. Because when I got back into pony collecting, part of it was I found my childhood ponies, and like 90% of them were fakies. And so when my cousin had her first daughter like a few years ago, I cleaned them all up and I gave them to my little, I call her my niece Chitem, and I'm glad that they were fakies, because she's too young to like take care of them, and they're just like, wee, their hair's a mess, like chaotic child things. But
No, that's really lovely. I do like seeing kids play with toys the way they're meant to be played with.
Mhm.
Yeah, I long to find like a pony that's just been covered in Sharpie. I want to find one of those ponies and treasure it so bad, because that pony, she must have been loved so much by that kid.
Like the weird Barbie from the Barbie movie.
Yeah.
Like a pony version.
Yes.
Yeah.
One thing that
long to
always
find
gets
that kind.
me is ponies with like names on their hooves.
Oh yeah.
You know, like the Andy from
Yeah.
Toy Story treatment on
Yeah,
ponies
I
is
have,
like marker. That gets me so much. Like it warms my heart.
I have some Littlest Pet shops with just some random people's names on them.
I think it's cute. I think it's cute that the parent cared enough about the kid like being reunited with the toy if it got lost at school or nursery or whatever, that they like put the name on so it like they could be reunited afterwards. Like that just it warms my heart.
Yeah, and I get that because I have one of my G3 ponies that I have now is the same exact type of G3 rarity I had as a kid, and I am so convinced because I got rid of them in this town, and then I found her again in the same town.
Oh no way.
So I have convinced myself that I found her again because she's the
You
exact
have.
same rarity. Yeah,
Absolutely.
and
I love that.
it's really
That's so
nice
sweet.
to be reunited with a toy you've lost.
No, definitely. I once rebought a jacket that I donated to a charity shop. I didn't think I wanted it. I donated it, and then I went in, and on the hanger, I was like, you know what? Actually, that looks fire. So I bought it back. So no, I get that kind of joy. It's kind of a nice feeling to have something come home.
That Dungeon Meshi Five Nights at Freddy's fanfiction, that's an audiobook on
It's-
his channel.
It's 3.5 hours. And I'm
Love that.
But like
But big question: is there like some kind of body horror, like Fallon animatronic thing? Because like
no.
I'm into that.
It's
sorry.
It's opportunity for
it's-
Fallon to be like a fucked up robot.
Fallon's gonna get spring trapped. No.
well there
Fallon in the spring lock.
there is a sequel.
Fallon, William Afton's behind you.
There is a sequel planned. No, the plot of Delicious and Fazbear's, which is the name of it, by the way, is it's like medieval setting Freddy Fazbear's, and Laios is convinced there's like monsters hiding in the restaurant because kids keep going missing there. So obviously monsters must be eating them, and they discover like the child murders, and Chilchuck gets kidnapped by William Afton.
Because he looks like a child. Because he's a halfling and William Afton's racist.
And like they break.
William Afton accidentally kidnaps a middle-aged man.
They all break into the restaurant in the middle of the night, and like Marcel's screaming her head off because Bonnie's scary. They're like, "Oh no, it's so scary!" Then Senchi's in the kitchen, and then Chica walks in, and he's not scared by her, and he's like, "I know, I'll make you some food because you seem hungry." So like while the others are like pissing their pants in fear in the next room, he's like cooking a pizza.
And he's
love
mad
all
about
this.
how unsanitary the kitchen is.
I will say, when you said it was like Delicious in Fazbear's, my immediate response was that, like in my brain, I was like, so they're hunting and eating the animatronic.
That is something that
That's-
is
Was
mentioned.
the inspiration.
Mm.
there's
Crispy
a
robot.
meme of, we are not eating Freddy Fazbear. Guys, we're eating Freddy Fazbear. Fuck! And that's what got Casey to write it.
I love that. I'm on board for Springtrap Fallon. I think that works really well, and
Yeah, she has
I'm down
she
for
has
that.
to get spring trapped. She has to get turned into
I-
a scary animatronic.
I'll-
Casey, we're writing your fan fiction for you. You have to do this. No.
yeah, she has to get Springtrap, and then Marcel has to like kind of be gayer for her Springtrap horror than she was before.
I want Cobber's party to get involved, and I want Cobber to meet Springtrap. But
I mean, you're not telling me that like the bit where like Fallon like kind of like tears her like shirt and like flashes.
Oh no!
You're not saying that wouldn't
everyone-
work perfectly with like a
everyone-
Springlock suit. Like her
Everyone looks at
rising off the
Laios
suit.
and thinks he's a fucking weirdo for absolutely totally being into monsters. But it's cool when Marcel does it.
I want Mick Bell to get Bite of 87.
No one cares. No one in the world cares that Marcel is into Fallon because it's Fallon. But Chilchuck gonna call Laios mean names because
I-
he's in the mods.
I think it's very funny in this. Laios is like, wow, the robots are so cool. Da, 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 da. I think it's very cool if in the sequel Fallon comes and she's like, wow, this is so cool, and Marcel is now totally okay with it. Where when Laios did it, it was weird.
I think that's basically kind of canon to the original anyway, right? It's canon in my head and my heart.
I also have a stupid crossover I need to write a fan fiction for, but it's way dumber.
No.
I have one final suggestion for you, and you definitely don't have to and should not use my stupid ideas, but following on from what was said earlier about Chilchuck, he's probably the only one, like, small enough to be, like, snatched into Circuit's baby.
Chilchuck does get put into a springlock suit.
Chilchuck, but not Fallon. 0 out of 10.
Well,
Worst
it's
fan-
a
worst fanfic I've ever
reference.
not read.
It's a reference
Isn't
to
it a reference to
Silver
one of the
Eyes.
Fazbear? Yeah, one of the books. One of the kids, one of the teenagers, William Afton puts him in a springlock suit so he can't move.
To be completely fair, I hadn't read the manga. I hadn't read the manga, and it was still when the anime was coming out. So it was before the episode where Fallon was turned into a dragon.
Yeah,
That's valid. My brain, it's not super late here, but it's the end of the week, and my brain was like, oh, they've not read the manga. Yes, the Five Nights at Freddy's manga. Yes.
They do have graphic novels.
They do. I don't like the graphic novels because most of it is
they're
like
bad.
they're like the Scholastic encourages the artists to trace, and they rush the artists, and it just looks bad.
Boo.
Yeah,
There's like and
but
it's
there
not.
are graphic
It's
novels.
not just tracing like official art. I wouldn't care. No, they're tracing fan art.
Yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
that works.
I
There is
do.
like a place for reusing your own assets in art,
Yeah.
but like stealing other people's. No,
I do like the plush
Yeah.
trap one because
Oh, yeah!
their art is, you can tell their art is rushed, but you can also they also were like, I am not going to trace, and they just it's their art but just rushed, and it feels so much better to read.
The plush trap
'Cause
chaser
it's-
one, it has a
yeah.
weird art style, but it's charming.
So
Because
cool,
because
yeah.
it's because you can tell like, oh, that's like a fun art style. Here, I'm posting an image. This is so the plush trap chaser is about like a plush trap toy, and I love the art style for it because it's so weird and creepy.
I'm looking at it on Google. I really like that.
Yeah, the plush trap style is really cool.
The shading, like the rendering, and like the way the lines are done. I think that's really
don't
interesting.
know if the artists are able to color their own art.
No, there's different artists for the line art, and then there's artists for the coloring.
Yeah, I like that art style.
Anyways,
Yeah, the two artists work together for something really cool. Anyways, what are we talking about? Ponies?
Ponies.
I forgot. This just turned into a hangout. This podcast always just turns into a hangout, and we just stop talking about what we're
no,
supposed to.
I feel bad for the listeners because they come here for Ponies, and then I always have to be like, hey, do you guys want to talk about either Sonic or Five Nights at Freddy's for like 30 minutes? And then it's terrible because my co-hosts are always like, yes, we do.
Yeah, and I'm like,
Well,
absolutely talk about your crossovers, and can I talk about mine too? And let's just get completely off topic.
It's a Venn diagram of interests, and hopefully a lot of the audience also probably shares a good amount of the interests.
Or we
Probably.
just cut it out, and they don't get to hang out with us.
No, I don't cut.
You're not cool enough.
You edit stuff down. I don't. My content is very long form. I don't feel the need to cut stuff out usually.
I also have the problem where I do think that everything is relevant when I'm going through like stuff to be edited down, and I'm like, no, but it adds context, it adds flavor.
Yeah. It's charming.
My recent video that was like 5 minutes long, I was like, it's just TF2, so I'm just running around getting clips, and when I'm tired, it's not like meant to be something long.
Mm-hmm.
I make long videos when they're meant to be long. I've made an hour-long video of nothing.
Well, with my channel, it's really just kind of whatever I want it to be. Like I posted a lot
Yeah,
of video
mine
essays
too.
specifically about Sonic and FNAF before I delved into pony content, but the pony content is the most popular thing. Like that's the one thing that everyone watches. So I kind of worry that I'm alienating my audience because like the Sonic and FNAF people probably don't care about My Little Ponies, but the pony people probably don't care about the other stuff. So you guys just have to deal with all of it.
If there's one thing I know about the kind of people that like My Little Pony,
Autism.
a lot of them
All of
like
it.
Sonic. Oh yeah, that's the Venn diagram of My Little Pony, Snap, and Sonic. It is autism right in the middle, but
Yeah, a lot of there's a lot of overlap.
yeah, I don't think you have to worry about alienating that audience. You can use it as a gateway. You can be like, oh, I heard you like ponies. Have you tried FNAF? Sonic?
I've heard me with mine. It's like, hey, you like ponies? Have you tried the loud explosions and screaming and death game? Because that's everything I do.
You just like TF2.
Yeah. I love the whiplash. I will literally be having conversations with people, and I'm like, yeah, my hobbies are like dressing up as a Disney princess, customizing My Little Ponies, and deep researching the Chernobyl nuclear disaster. And they're like, oh.
What was that
And I'm
last
like,
one
no,
again?
I'm like, that's a pretty normal smorgasbord of autism interests. Like you have a few toy franchises, and you have a few like dark
One
existential
random
true
what the
crime
fuck
horrors. Yeah, you gotta balance it out. Like you can't all be pink and rainbows. Sometimes it's gotta be like 1980s Soviet liminal depressing vibes.
I will
Life's
say,
about nuance.
one of my biggest special interests recently that I don't share with any of my friends, so instead I'm just like screaming about it into the void and then crying. I fucking love the Hunger Games so much, and a lot of
hey, that's a lie.
You listen
That's a
to
lie.
it. You listen to
It's
me,
a
but
lie. It's like you don't like
tell
Hunger
anyone.
Games.
I don't tell anyone about the Hunger Games as you talk about it so often. Liar.
but well, I don't have any friends who are mutually into it, but like I so much of that is like me being like, wow, do you guys want to hear about this political and philosophical like war theory and nature of human discussion of government versus human nature discussion that she's embedded into the text, and people are like, no, not really, and I'm like, okay.
I'm like, yeah.
I don't say. Who says that to you?
I'll
beat them up.
People think it's cringy.
I will say though, that was like a pure example of like peak autism, not actually always knowing how you come off to people, because you were like, oh, nobody knows about my deep inner life, about things I think about, and then Saturn was like, oh my god, you never stop talking about that.
I feel like you're the exception. I only talk about it in like the one like friend group chat. I don't talk about it on like Tumblr or any of my social medias. That's what I mean.
Because all the people on Tumblr have wrong takes about it. No.
Yeah.
Only my take is correct. I am the correct opinion.
I genuinely get so heated about FNAF, and it is because I hate all of the fan theory. Like game theory, when you catch these hands, I'm gonna.
Don't ever meet MatPat.
No, we'd be chill. I would just be like so annoyed if about the theories themselves. But I'm chill with people.
It's funny, isn't it? Because one of my friends' like special interest is FNAF, but is really into like the theorizing of it and like piecing the bits of lore together and like trying to make a clear picture out of it.
Yeah.
Kind of like G2 and me. But I don't have an interest in it for that at all. I just really like animatronic horror and like robots and gore. So we're like totally other ends of the
I-
spectrum. She's like, did you watch the like 2-hour deep dive when they were talking about like XYZ's characters teaser? And I'm like, no, I drew Miku, but she's Springtrap. Like,
That's awesome.
Like, oh.
I do think theories are fine, and genuinely there isn't like on the surface there's nothing wrong with MatPat's theories. It's having fun and silly theories are fun, but people kind of the annoying part about it was people kind of took his word and his theories as gospel because he got because
His first
around,
theory,
like FNAF 4 time, he got genuinely really close. And then people are like, okay, so he knows what's going on. And then cut to way later in Five Nights at Freddy's, he admits he doesn't know what's going on anymore. And people are still like, okay, his word is truth.
It's just kind of annoying when people take something that's like fanon, or like they take fan interpretations and they assume it's canon, even though it's not. I'm very much like, I need everything to be super canon, or else I'm like, that's not canon, that's not real, and people assume so much stuff that's just fan theory is canon, and it annoys me so bad.
Yeah, no,
I think
that.
the worst part is that it got to a point where apparently in the new game, and I don't know because I haven't played it yet, but Casey's mentioned it, in the new game, people got so into their interpretation that you find out that it's wrong, and they're like, oh my god, it's a retcon, and it's like, no, you guys were just wrong.
Yeah, you just like gave yourself minor psychosis and convinced yourself of something was real when it wasn't.
I'm gonna go.
Yeah, like I think
It's
not
not.
from what Casey said,
It's not
it's like someone lied.
It's not a big
earlier in the
spoiler.
story.
It's not a big spoiler, so I will. Is it okay for me to like explain it?
Yeah, go
It's
ahead.
not a
Go
big
ahead.
spoiler.
I want to know what people are being stupid about.
It's revealed in the newest game that Fazbear Entertainment stole most of the character designs from Edwin Murray, like the new costume, because the new game is talking about Edwin Murray. It's like a side company. He makes animatronics. Fazbear Entertainment stole most of his designs, and the fandom is mad because Henry was supposed to be the creator. He said he made them.
I think that's more interesting,
Guys,
lore-wise.
have you
and also
considered
kind of more
maybe he
historically
was
accurate.
maybe he didn't make the characters, but what he meant by that was,
He made
he
yeah.
built the fucking endoskeleton.
And Henry's versions are much different from Murray's versions, but also just
So, it's so fucking in character for Fazbear Entertainment to be a horrible fucking thief.
it's
Yeah, and like also it's like theme park animatronic design and like everything to do with like that kind of industry in real life is all people either going from one company to another and like taking all the trade secrets and giving them to the other company, or like copying work, or like making like bootlegging other people's IPs and stuff, especially in the era that FNAF is set. That track is more interesting, and if historically accurate is not the right word, but like I think that's
realistic.
an interesting bit of lore that is good and fits.
It's also
That's what they're saying.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
So stupid.
It's also like I feel like the fans had this like idealized version of Henry's character in his head in their head.
Henry Emily is not a perfect man.
Yeah, but like he only talks like once in the series, and so people were like, "Oh, he's Charlie's father, and he made the animatronics. He's probably this very nice, friendly guy who's like very caring about kids," and like they just projected so much headcanon onto him that like they can't.
We don't know shit about him.
Yeah, they couldn't
All we know
handle
about
him
is
lying
that
about something.
He was a kid's dad, and he burned Michael alive.
So the last time we talked about Project G2-Redo, I'm pretty sure like the only thing that was on because it had just come out, it was like in June or something, and the only thing that was on the shop was the classic create your own pose, like the white blank pose. But since then, you've added a few things to the store. You've added eyes, you've added stickers, you've added some dyed ponies. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, the stickers, probably actually, I don't know why I went for the stickers first, but I literally only put those up a couple of days ago, and like I've had to make so many more. Like I was like, oh yeah, a few people might want some stickers. Oh my gosh, the people, they yearn They yearn for the stickers.
People love stickers.
I ran out of printer ink and I had to order more. I was like, oh my gosh, this is great, but like, oh, so many. So stickers, really good. Definitely going to be doing some more of those. I have a little list of characters to G2-ify and add to the sticker roster. The iGems are really good. They're helpful for me because I've got loads of ponies of my own that need new iGems. So it's really handy to have the colours. I tried to get all the colours that would be suitable replacements for the original G2s. I think there's like 6 or 7 different iGem colours that were used across G2s, and I'm pretty sure I've got a decent equivalent of all those colours. And then now I'm like expanding into like the fun colours. Like I just put loads of blues and purple shades on today that are like all so pretty. So yeah, we've gone through the basic iGems, and now we're on to all the like more unique colors. So there's so many customization options when it comes to what color glint your pony has in her eye. I liked in G2, that is like one bit of lore that is firmly established in G2, that the color of your eye sparkle is like genetic and comes down the family line, and you inherit.
That's cute.
Yeah, isn't it cute? So like the babies that came with adults, like Ivy's baby and Lightheart's baby and stuff, they have the same color iGem as their really I assume mum, maybe big sister, but I think they're parents. But yeah, I think that's really nice. I think like you could expand the family lines, like you could make Ivy a sister with like a similar color palette and she could have the same iGem and stuff. I think that's really sweet. And then the ponies, yeah, it's the same pose. I am dyeing them in my kitchen on the hob that we cook our food with. And sometimes I get told, hey, you need to move your dye because we need to eat food. Not with the same cooking equipment, obviously. Dyeing them is really fun. I could do that all day. Taking pictures of them and putting them up for sale, less fun than dyeing them. So I've gotten myself in a bit of a hole where I've got a load that are dyed and need to actually be put on the shop. That's a me problem. But one of the benefits of having PVC is its ability to like absorb and retain dye, and having the first run be white, so it's literally blank canvas, like they can be turned any color. I've got a few that I dyed jet black, and they went from like bright white to jet black. No problem. Yeah, they're really cool. I really should put them up on the shop before Halloween. That was the intention.
Oh, hail Shadow.
No matter when you put them up, they're gonna go instantly, I feel like.
I do think they're gonna be very popular.
They're gonna be very... Yeah, they're gonna be very popular.
I am denying myself sales by procrastinating on that. I do need to get on it. But yeah, the dyed ponies are a lot of fun to make, and I am putting together an ebook for like the customizing basics for newcomers to sort of
cute
tips and tricks, and there will be a whole section on dyeing them. So as well as being able to get dyed ponies from me, like if you don't know how to do it yourself, the ebook should give a good overview. But it is time consuming. It's expensive because like you have to buy a whole bottle of dye even if you just want to do one pony. So I thought I'd give people the option to like just bypass the whole having to make a mess with like dye and pots and pans in your kitchen if you don't want to do that. And I will do that and ruin my kitchen. But yeah, that's what's in the shop at the minute. I've got some plans for hopefully a few repro accessories. I'm still perfecting silicone molding. I've done a lot of like silicone molding, especially to like replicate Monster High accessories, but I'm working on the wings. I've been working on the wings for a while because it keeps going wrong. I keep getting frustrated and like putting it in a box for a few weeks and then being like, I should look at that again. But we're close to cracking the the wings. They're a very complicated shape and they're very thin and flimsy. So like getting all the like resin in the mold without getting bubbles in it is proving a challenge. But yeah, we've got products coming up, products in the shop. Oh my gosh! And today we sold our 100th pony.
Woo!
Hooray!
I know. It's really I like put a thing on Instagram being like, there's a gift, and there is. Like,
Yeah.
I put it on like I'm lying. No, the 100th pony person will get like a little extra prize in their parcel for being the 100th pony sold. But like that's amazing. Like that's 10% of the stock.
Oh jeez.
Yeah.
Better hurry and buy them now before they all
I know,
gone.
that doesn't sound like a lot, but we launched like May, June time. So to shift 100 ponies for like a niche hobby, like customizing, not every pony fan does it, and then G2's like not everyone's favorite. So I think 100 is really good. Like I'm excited about that. Just 900 more to go. My husband is thrilled.
Yeah, I was like, I'll wait a little bit to buy some just because I don't think they're gonna go that quickly. But then like, saying 10% of them, I'm like, oh geez. But for our listeners, because I don't know if I've said this. I have ordered some. They just are in the mail currently. So when they get here, I'll probably like film like a little review, talk about like how they actually feel and stuff like that.
I know, I'm excited. I was so glad when I saw your order come in.
I really want to order one too. I designed a pony and everything.
Yeah, we've been like playing around with like custom designs. Here, I'll share an image of mine. The one I want to make is it is a Hunger Games pony.
Oh my gosh, that's gorgeous! That's so pretty.
It's gonna be called Songbirds and Snakes, and it has a snake on one side and then a bird on the other, and like a bunch of symbolic plants.
I like it.
Woohoo!
Oh, that's really cool. I love that.
I do think it's cool that you're like giving more options to customizers in terms of like dyeing stuff for people who maybe don't know how or are too nervous to dye ponies, different eye colors of course. I think that is very cool and fun. Leading into that, what other things are you planning for the future? Like you mentioned the accessories for the wings, but are you planning like any other poses, any other eye colors? Are you planning on implementing hair into the shop?
Yeah, so the list is kind of my personal like what I want to achieve from this list is ridiculously long and very ambitious. But like aim high, right? The big main next production goal is going to be the alicorns. So it's going to be the same like white blank pony pose, but with a unicorn horn on the head and molded Pegasus wings. So they can be swapped out and they're kind of modular with the pony blanks. So an alicorn can make a unicorn, a Pegasus, or an alicorn, or anything else that you want to do with it. So I think that's a big step to make, like to open up how the possibilities for ponies, because unicorn horns, wings, so many like fan favorite characters that people can recreate, and OCs using those. I mean, most people slap either a unicorn horn or Pegasus wings or both on their OC because like why wouldn't you? my OC, the art of her doesn't have Pegasus wings, but she is a Pegasus. I just didn't draw wings on her, but like you gotta slap the wings on. So yeah, the big goal is another production run, this time alicorns, to be compatible with, but that's like a big long goal because it'll cost the same as the original run because it needs a new mold. So basically everything else that I'm doing is to raise funds to get to that goal as quickly as possible. So custom accessories, yes. The stickers have been a big hit, so we're definitely gonna do some more of those. the eye gems, I've still got some more to put on the website. So, you know, even like every little tiny sale adds up to eventually funding the second run. One thing that people ask me about all the time is like professionally produced custom characters.
Oh yeah.
HQ G1C, like will people be able to buy like finished sort of professional factory standard G2-Redo ponies, maybe of other ponies from other generations given the G2 treatment, or original characters. There are certain mascots or well-known fan ponies in the community that I have had so many requests for, and I really, really want to respond to them all, but all I can kind of say is like winking emoji, finger over lips emoji.
It's a
with
secret.
regards to that, until things are set in stone, I would really like to make some star captures. That is also kind of a wink, finger on lips situation, because I don't want to promise anything until I've fully prototyped her. But she has a white body, and G2-Redos have white bodies, and she has wings that are not molded onto her body.
Yeah.
So it could be done as a G2-Redo. Basically, the thing I need to work out is I know how to professionally print like factory standard decals onto ponies. I've priced up having them done by the factory. They are very expensive.
Yeah.
And they have a minimum production of 500. And I'm not sure. I'm confident in the ability to shift custom blanks because people love making loads of customs, but like no one's buying 10, 15, 20 of the same like character. So I'm a bit hesitant to pull the trigger on like an order of 500 of one specific character, because I don't know if there are 500 G2 fans in the whole world.
Yeah.
So we'd all have to like band together and buy like 2 or 3 at least. But I do have the capacity for small production runs to a factory standard, with the printing techniques used in the factories on a smaller scale to produce like uniform production line style toys. So it is on the cards. It's just perfecting mostly perfecting the printing technique, which I am actively working on. And I am but one person.
Yeah.
So, although if we do reach that stage, you know, my husband's got 2 hands. He's got 2 hands and a lot of patience. So you know, it's on the cards. We're working on it.
Well, that's good to hear.
What else do I have? Mostly the accessory reproductions, and I want hopefully to make those things sort of accessible to other people as well. So hopefully 3D models, downloadable 3D like print files for harder to find G2 accessories. That depends on A, the availability of the 3D scanner at my local library, which is not always available, and B, if I actually have the accessory to scan.
Yeah.
I really, really, really want to make the slide. The slide haunts me. The little green baby slide that is like so rare and so hard to find.
Yeah.
Like I will borrow that off somebody if they'll lend it to me, and then send it back to them just so I can 3D scan it to make myself a copy.
Yeah.
So it depends if I have the thing in my collection But if I do, hopefully, I can offer 3D print files for people to make their own, because this is a passion project and of like a fan-led project. I've had people say stuff like, "Oh, I was thinking of making XYZ for G2s, but like I don't want to tread on your toes." And I'm like, "No, the more G2 the better."
Yeah.
Like, we all got to do it. Like I don't want to gatekeep resources, because the whole point of this project is for people to be able to customize ponies, and also its existence depends on people continuing to customize ponies. So why would I keep those resources to myself? That would only harm the project. I want people to be able to 3D print as many tiaras and wings and shoes and whatnot. I want to make sewing patterns for the like little skirts and stuff, and maybe develop some of my own new sewing patterns. G2s wore a lot of skirts and a lot of onesies, but they didn't really. Well, they had capes.
Mm-hmm.
But we could innovate. We could give them scarves. They didn't have any scarves or like earmuffs, and those are like, I think those are so cute, like winter pony outfits.
Mm-hmm.
So cute. So yeah, a lot of things. My list of like to do is like every G2 adult pose blank, every G2 adult pose, but also an alicorn and modular, so any head can be interchanged with anybody. The babies.
Oh my god, the babies!
The babies would be awesome.
New poses, like a laying down pose that isn't Lightheart with her 4 strained plastic joints, like just a laying or sitting pose. Sea ponies, G2 sea ponies and baby sea ponies, like bajillion. I could make new G2s forever, but you know, it's so expensive to just have one mold made. You know, those things aren't happening anytime soon, and they will happen sooner, like the more people engage with the project. But the whole point is to put resources in people's hands.
Mm-hmm.
So like it helps me to help the community to give like files readily available, and in return any sales fund this carrying on even longer. Oh my gosh, that's so pretty. Oh, sorry, for context for the listeners, it's Saturn's pony design. Oh, it's like all like winter and breeze, not winter, autumn.
It's autumn. They were inspired by a river in autumn.
Yeah, like fall leaves and waves. Oh, I love it. I really like that. Very pretty. Yay. Oh, that's another thing. You've just reminded me, because you've colored her little crescent iris bit. One thing that is coming really soon is like stencil stickers.
Oh, nice.
For the eyes. Because even I found that like a bit tricky to color in that part of the eye with a paintbrush. So yeah, stencil stickers for the eyes, so you can mask off most of the eye, just color the colored bit with whatever paint or marker or whatever you fancy, and then just peel the stencil template off, and there you go. Stress-free pony eye. Yeah, a lot of people have said like, yeah, that's really useful. When are you doing those? And I'm like, as soon as I can. I'm sorry. So yeah, I have infinite ideas basically. Just gotta get through them one at a time.
Another.
If I did a lottery, there would be bajillions of ponies. There would be baby sea ponies, Pegasus,
so many.
Ponies, Pegasus, unicorn, alicorn, mecha triceratops, sea pony baby. Like, there'd be everything. It would just be an empire of G2s.
I also wanted to ask about like plans. I feel like this is something that people are probably asking a lot. Are there any plans for like, number one, I know you were talking about getting the G2-Redo website like up in working order, like getting that developed, but also plans for like further distribution, like how high quality G1 Custom, they have distributors in different countries. Like, people were wondering about that, I know. Especially because the tariff situation is just a mess.
Yeah, that is the T word is the big issue with regards to the distribution. It is mostly the prohibitive cost of importing. Liz, the investor of the project, was going to be distributing them in the US, but the parcels with like low value 1 or 2 ponies are getting through customs no problem. Anything under $100 is getting through customs no problem. But to import a large amount of ponies is going to cost the person on the receiving end like a small fortune at this point, which is it's tough, isn't it? Because like, I know how expensive the US shipping is, and I hate it. Like, the whole point of this is to make it accessible to people, and then the shipping is, you know, ouchie. It at the minute, it really is just like a situation that I can't. Not that I can't ever see a way out of. Obviously, it's something that will resolve itself. But while the tariff situation is situationing, it's just gonna be way too expensive for anybody to like reasonably import a big chunk of them to the US. Hopefully that will be changing.
Yeah.
Or maybe somebody will just step up and be like, I love them so much, I will pay the price. I think anybody would be mildly out of their minds to do that. And I wouldn't expect anybody to do that. Distribution in Europe has been a conversation, but shipping from the UK to Europe isn't too bad, so
yeah,
there's not as much urgency there. There were some discussions about trying to find an Australian distributor, because I think G2 was actually relatively popular in Australia.
Yeah.
I haven't actually managed to find somebody, but like, good day if you're down under. Put a shrimp on the barbie for me and hit me up.
Well, I know that people are always interested about merchandise in Australia specifically, because it is really hard to, like, with shipping costs and stuff, a lot of stuff just doesn't get as distributed there, so like people do go crazy for it.
Yeah, no, it would definitely, that is one where I've been like really trying to search, because at the minute US distribution is sort of in this like infinite limbo, and Europe's not too bad, so Australia's been like the big one I've been searching for a way to get it there. Nothing yet, but again, if anyone's listening and Australian and wants to collab, send me a message, I guess. Yeah, so when this started, I had the plan that I was going to have a website, and it was going to be like the store, obviously, and then like part blog, part like photo gallery, like part community hub, like it's going to be everything. I've done graphic design, haven't built a website in its entirety, but I have dabbled in it. It was more of an undertaking. I was like, yeah, I'll like set aside a couple of months and I'll just like do it on the sofa at night when I'm like relaxing. No, like, oh, mama, no. It's crazy work, actually. But the other thing I found is that using Coffee has been working really, really well. It's accessible everywhere internationally. They only take a very small, like very reasonable compared to other platforms, percentage of the sales just to keep themselves running, compared to other sales platforms that literally charge like an arm and a leg per sale. That actually paying for like integrated e-commerce platforms into a website is so expensive. I was like, oh, what can it be, like £5-10 a month to have like an online shop? Oh my gosh, naive. It's crazy to host your own online shop. So with Coffee working so well and like being so easy to use from my end, but also seems to be working well for users, I think potentially, at least for now, it makes sense to keep the store on coffee.
Yeah.
But I am still very slowly, because I massively underestimated what an undertaking it was. I am working on the draft of the website, and I do still want it to be everything else. Yeah, it'll be like the blog, it'll like embed all the social media posts, it'll have like contact details, it'll have nice pictures, it'll have, hopefully I'll be doing events like UK PonyCon next year, fingers crossed. It'll have everything, and then like a link to the store, but you just have to sort of go to coffee to purchase at this point. But yeah, it'll have like all the downloads, all the sort of like anything that I've archived personally from G2. I'll have like a little library of stuff and info. So yeah, the website is chugging away in the background, but the urgency of it, because I've got a functional online shop, and that was like the major issue. The urgency of it is mildly reduced. Just because stuff like restocking the stickers that everybody's gone feral for and bled my printer out of printer ink.
Yeah.
You know, stuff keeps cropping up, which is great, and I love it. Like, every time I get like a little email being like, someone bought something in your shop, it is like, yay! Like, it makes me smile every time. I'm definitely not complaining about that. It's like the best feeling in the world. But every time I think like, okay, I've got a spare hour, I get another sale, or like something needs tweaking, or somebody's saying that they can't cook dinner and I need to put my dye away. How rude. So it's on the back burner, but I'll get there.
I believe in you. Slow but steady. Like, it doesn't have to be rushed out.
I believe in me too, which is kind of part of the problem, is that I cook up these crazy schemes that other people would think like, no, that's madness. I'm not going to even consider doing that. And I'm like, I can do it.
Well, I don't even think it sounds completely unreasonable. Like, you're not asking for the moon, you're just asking for a website and 10 things to sell and more poses and...
Yeah, like 10,000 more ponies and a factory printing machine in my craft room that is a small child's bedroom converted. Normal and easy.
All right.
It does bring you to weird places, like obviously working with like molding plastic into accessories requires like melting plastic, which is an art form and skill that requires a lot of care. And like my partner would be like, are you okay? Like, you're really frowning at your phone. And I'll be like, yeah, I'm just reading if I can build a furnace in the house. And if it needs a fume extractor, and if I melt certain plastic, they're quite low fume, but other plastics I might have to melt in the garden. And he's just like, I wish I'd not asked.
Cool.
It's definitely less like, I think I like to present to my family the image that I'm literally just a girl. I'm just playing with my pink ponies and listening to Pink Pony Club by Chapel Roan and sticking glitter on everything, because I think that's like an aesthetic.
A fun
aesthetic. It is actually like more like chugging around the house in dye-stained jogging pants, being like, what do you mean a single color printing machine is $3,000? It can't be $3,000. It only prints one color. Okay, well, how do I build one? It's definitely more kind of Gremlin vibes than Pink Pony Club vibes. But don't tell anyone that.
I won't. My lips are sealed.
Secret.
Secret.
And there's all the PVC tasting. Obviously, that takes a while.
Yeah, because that's the most important job. You can't skip that.
It has to taste good. It has to taste good.
I will taste it when it arrives, and I'll give it a rating out of 10 based on the taste alone.
I'd love to see that, like a review, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we're not going to talk about like the quality or like anything. We're going to talk about how it tastes."
I shouldn't joke about it because now I'm tempted.
I'm tempted. I've got.
Oh,
I've got
I'm sitting
box of
I'm sitting
100.
here with I'm sitting here with Clever Clover, and I'm tempted to lick him,
Don't!
even though I know I shouldn't.
You extra shouldn't with a vintage boy. He's double
Yeah,
spicy.
no, I shouldn't. But I'm tempted.
I've heard that if you ingest enough lead, you do unlock extra superpowers. So
Ooh.
If I
You know.
ingest enough lead, I can become Soldier from TF2. And that's all I've ever
Exactly.
wanted.
perfect. That and some Tylenol, right? Are we allowed to drink it?
So one thing I was interested in about, and I understand if this is like a tricky subject, I do think it is interesting to think about like the copyright aspect of it, like with recreating toys that are owned by Hasbro. And I've kind of been looking into this because this isn't anything serious. Don't take me seriously when I say this, but I was like, I would love to write like a book about pony, because like there were books in like the 2000s, like collectors inventories from the perspective, like
Yeah.
unofficial guides. And so I was like thinking about like people producing fan-made projects and like selling them for this, like I know with copyright, part of it is like being transformative, making it clear that you are not Hasbro, that kind of stuff. And so if you want to talk about like some of the research you've had to do into that, you can, but I understand if you, it's just like headache inducing.
I mean, I'm not a lawyer, so like, I don't 100% like have full understanding of like the deep legal definitions, but as far as I'm aware, fair use within copyright is sort of the ability to use somebody else's intellectual property, like you said, if it's transformative, if it's if you're reviewing or critiquing something, if you're transforming it in a way that it says something new or like functions in a way that is like distinct from the original, if you're not like just monetizing someone else's IP, slapping their art on your merch and selling it, like you know, as long like there's a difference between like theft and transformation, and like parody and satire fall under that. You know, you're allowed to like sort of use someone's IP in order to like parody and critique them. The other thing is trademarks. So copyright is a lot broader. Copyright is like your own, it's like the concept of owning your own work, or a company's ownership of its own products and designs and stuff. It's very like nuanced, and again, I'm not a lawyer, and I've probably got some of this wrong, but like if you design something, if you draw it, if you make it with your own hands or write it, sing it, whatever, like if it's your original work, you kind of like automatically have copyright over it. It's because it's your intellectual property, and that is kind of protected, technically protected in like a court of law as your ownership. That is obviously dependent on like your ability to take someone to court, because like if someone's stealing your work and you like ask them to stop and they don't, you've got to have like the money and resources to like actually compile a court case against them as like as an individual. Companies don't have that problem. They've got legal teams, especially big toy companies have big legal teams. And the thing that actually the factory weren't sure about producing these toys until I provided them with this evidence, and it might be why they were a bit snubbed during the anniversary, is that the design style of G2, like the actual like shape and form of them, is no longer under trademark.
Wow.
It was such a flop that when G2 officially ended in 2003, they just dropped the trademarks immediately. They did not think it was worth paying the money to renew them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so the design styles are not under trademark. intellectual property, the characters maybe, like the concept, the design, but My Little Pony obviously cannot own the market monopoly on horse-shaped toys.
Yeah.
That's something that no court of law would like give them because that's far too broad. And the actual like specific technical shape and design and form of G2s is not trademarked anymore. The names aren't trademarked either. They are kind of still Hasbro's intellectual property and IP, but they're not like trademarked, which is the really rigid, like
Yeah.
firm no-go area of a brand's property is their trademark properties. And also, when you have something trademarked, you're sort of obligated to defend it. So when you start dabbling with a trademarked property, the company has an obligation to prevent you from doing that. So yeah, the big thing is the lack of trademark, which gave me the confidence and gave the factory the confidence to actually approve me and agree to make these. Was I sent them proof that the copyrights ended in 2003. Trademarks, sorry.
Yeah.
The distinction between those words is important, so I'm trying not to mix them up.
I did not know that the trademark had not been extended past 2003.
Yeah, when people say like, "Oh, G2 was a flop," like Hasbro put it in the bin. They divorced it.
They disowned it. Oh no!
They really did. But the other important thing is that I do genuinely believe that these fall under fair use.
Yeah.
Because they are transformative from the original purpose. The original purpose was play toys for children, storytelling, doll, action figure, role play, pretend play toys. And these are an art tool. So I think they're like a completely different product with a completely different target audience, a completely different purpose. And I think that personally, I'd like to think that how transformative they are and sort of their role in like the preservation of history and stuff would qualify under the fair use banner. And the second part of that is the concept of like a market replacement.
Yeah.
Which means like, would this product be on the same shelf in a shop and be like direct competition with the original product? Like if you make a Barbie clone, Mattel's going to be upset because people might buy that one instead of theirs, and that is damaging to their brand and their profits. But because the purpose of a G2-Redo is very, very different from an original My Little Pony toy, I don't think they're a market replacement. They've got a completely different target audience and a completely different purpose and are advertised a completely different way.
I do like talking about that just because I do think that will make people more confident, like knowing that like it's like serving a different purpose. It is not impeding on any like current trademark, and I know that like that's something that I didn't know specifically about G2, but I know that for it's more so the later generations of My Little Pony that people would have to worry about, because I remember that's why some of the names in G3 started getting so like weirdly specific with like their weird spellings, because in the early 2000s, don't quote me on this because I'm not looking at the court case, but there was a court case where Hasbro was trying to sue someone for using the name Cotton Candy in one of their toys. Because obviously one of the original My Little Ponies is named Cotton Candy, but like that name is way too general to be like claimed.
That is generic. But toy companies will try and claim ownership over like the concept of a doll.
Yeah.
It's like you can't. They've been around for thousands of years. Like you can't copyright
Yeah.
all dolls.
But I know that after that point, Hasbro, they started naming their ponies, like so-and-so is spelled so as in sewing supplies, and so as in the word
Yeah.
so.
They
Like
do
they
get
they
weird.
spell
They get
the
longer as
names
well.
very specifically, and like they added more, like they gave them first and last names. I think that is more so just to make them more like trademarkable, more
Yeah.
specific. But with more general concepts, like the general concept of a pony toy you can customize, that's less claimable.
Yeah, they can't copyright like toy horses.
Yeah.
I feel like they probably tried, but like yeah, thankfully there are some like limits in the free market of things that one person can have a monopoly over. And like the concept of horses is not something one company can trademark.
Otherwise, Breyer
Yeah.
would be getting very upset. Like the Breyer horses, like the company behind them would not be happy.
I'm gonna trademark just actual horses. So like every horse in the world is under my trademark, and you can't have any of them.
The anime gotcha game is gonna get mad at you if you do that.
No, it won't, because it's mine now. I own it. They're all my anime girls, and they're in my basement.
No!
Uh-oh.
I actually named my 2 new pet mice after the anime.
Oh, cute!
They're called Teo and McQueen, after the horse girls.
I don't know a lot about the anime Horse Girls, but I am a huge fan of this quote-unquote anime called Nyan Neko Sugar Girls. And,
I've heard of that.
yeah, it's like this famous 2000s, like, some kid on the internet on YouTube made, like, their own anime, but it's, like, really bad. But
I have heard of this. I have heard of this.
I have a DVD box set of it. Anyways, I bring it up because
Amazing.
the creator still runs their DeviantArt and they've never broken character in like all of 12, 15, 16 years. And I bring this up just because I know they made fan art of the horse game in the art style of Nyan Neko Sugar Girls, so that's all I think of.
So good. I unironically want that like framing in my house. I love that.
Hold on,
I love that so much.
I'm gonna take a pic. It's not related to anything, but I'm gonna take a picture of my DVD box set because I'm so proud of it.
I think that slays.
It's not made by the person who made the show, but like it's made by fans. But the creator of the show did endorse the DVD, so like it's not like
That's rad. I love that.
And it's this show, Nyan Neko Sugar Girls.
Oh, I love that.
And it like has a whole booklet inside with a fan comic. It's great.
I love this so much, and I love this especially because 99% of the humans that I draw are girls. Like, whatever. So anytime I try and draw like a cartoon or anime-esque man, it ends up looking like these two in the back. That's exactly what my drawing of a man looks like. So I love this. I feel seen and represented, actually.
Yeah, this show, I don't want to spoil the ending because it's such a good twist. It's like the part of the context was it was made in like 2010. Way back in like the early internet game days, but essentially most of the plot is about how Raku-chan, the girl with the green hair, she gets bitten by a squirrel and gets rabies and then gets infected by a demon. So most of the plot is fighting that, but the whole time she, Koneko, which is the red-haired girl, and Hitoshi, the blue-haired boy, they're like best friends. They're like, they genuinely have such a, like, I non-ironically love their relationship. I wish I had a friendship as strong as them. But like the whole time it's kind of like, ooh, Raku-chan likes Hitoshi-san, are they gonna get together? And then at the end of it, Hitoshi-san's like, oh, by the way, I've been dating this like mysterious brown-haired boy who kidnapped me in episode 2. We've been dating and gay the whole time, and Raku-chan dies of a broken heart, and that's how it ends.
And some random person was just like, didn't she die because her friend was gay? And it's like, no, it wasn't because he's gay.
It's really good.
It's really funny to think about it that way.
When your friend comes out and you don't know what to do, she just dies to avoid the interaction.
I think that's it's so good. And like the very last scene of the show, like the very last line of dialogue is Hitoshi-san going on a monologue like, Raku-chan, she's strong. She can't die of a broken heart. One day, she'll be back, and we'll be kawaii friends, just like old times. Isn't that right? And Kaneko's like, Hitoshi, I think you're just in denial. And then his boyfriend's like, you killed Raku-chan with your love for me, you dirty, dirty scoundrel, you. And then Hitoshi-san does a heavy sigh, end series. That's how it ends.
That is incredible.
Like, nah, she ain't coming back.
It's incredible that like pieces of art like this can exist on the internet and you don't even know what's out there. Like, endless treasures to be discovered.
Well, I kind of love that because like people, and when it first came out, people were like, oh, this is cringe. This is cringe, and like. People argue over whether the show is non-ironic or not. I think it is kind of parody, like, because there are times where they poke fun at themselves, like, but I think even if it is parody, they got engrossed in their characters and world and made this big dramatic story, and I love
Lost in the sauce.
I love unabashful cringe art. Like, I love people just making things, even if it's weird, even if it's like quote unquote cringy, even if it's like something that people would make fun of. I just love that existing, and I love human creativity. And
I
Cringe,
100%
but free.
agree. I think that we should all be as vulnerable and cringe and do whatever the hell we want in our sketchbooks, and then I think we should all just put it on DeviantArt and pat each other on the back and be like, good job.
And that's part of why I love ponies, because some people think ponies are cringe, but I have fun with them, and I have fun making pony designs, connecting with pony fans. Like, that's what I'm getting at here.
Yeah, the thing about me is that all of my opinions are the correct opinion, and everything that I like is the cool stuff, and everything I dislike is
Cringe.
like fundamentally intrinsically bad. So like, I'm just like, yeah, I like My Little Ponies, don't you? Because I think they're cool, and I'm correct. So what are you doing if you're not into them? So basically just Delulu self-confidence and belief in the heart of the cards, and you can just get your way out of anything.
But I do think that, like, the human condition is creative. Like, humans are creative, and we shouldn't be stifling that. And if you can, make some art today. It doesn't matter if it's good, doesn't matter if it looks good, doesn't matter if it's cringe. Just make it, and it'll exist, and the world will be better for it.
I support this message. Even better if you make a G2-Redo custom pony. Only $15.99 and available now.
Yay! I do non-ironically really want to make a Neon Neko Sugar Girls custom, but I think I would have to do like a G3.5 one because of the silly proportions. I need it.
You would have to. They're a 3.5 pony.
Yeah, dare I say something bold and controversial? The sort of long, like, yaoi legs of this art. I can't see the legs of the blue-haired character from what you posted, but I just know that's giving G2. It's giving G2 long legs.
There's a
there he is.
They're skinny legs. I was correct.
You gotta
You know a man like that has legs too thin to actually support a human skeleton.
The thing about Neon Neko Sugar Girls is the fandom surrounding it literally is so creative, and people love doing like screenshot redraws where they go way into detail, and they make I want to play this on stream. There's a fan game that's like a visual novel murder mystery detective story with them. Like people go crazy creative
Casey,
for stuff like that. Hi.
Casey, I'm getting freaked out in the search result for GIFs for this anime because there's someone's art style, and at certain points it looks so much like how you drew in middle school.
Oh
and
god.
It scares me.
Oh god.
No, it's not you, but it looks close enough, and it's like surreal.
Well, I've posted this on on a very ancient video of mine where I was analyzing 2000s and early 2010s Sonic YouTube content, like the animatics and AMVs people would make, and I was vulnerable enough to share some of my old ancient art, and it is just like I loved using the circle tool and gradients. Well, yeah, I remember watching like those YouTubers who would go onto DeviantArt just to make fun of kids' art, and at first I was like 10. I was like not 10. I was like 13, 14, something like that. So I didn't understand like just how hurtful that could be, but like looking back on it, I feel like it's not cool to make fun of people as long as they're not like harming people. So I just
definitely not. It's like that stuff. It was the era of like cringe compilations and stuff, and it was just like people cosplaying and having fun.
It's a mix of like wanting to be in the in-group and make fun of people because that's, people, but it's also, I feel like a lot of people at the time were framing it as, oh, I'm not bullying, I'm trying to make their art better by giving constructive criticism, but a lot of people didn't understand how constructive criticism actually works. Like, you can't just...
Don't give people constructive criticism if they aren't asking for it as well.
Yeah, you have to like concrete is something you have to come to ask. You can't just be like, I would have done that differently. It's like, okay, good for you. Go do it differently then. Like, do your own. As a teen, that content would have devastated me if I'd been the victim of it.
Mm-hmm.
But now if somebody's like, you're cringe, I'm like, yeah. Anyway,
there is something very therapeutic about like embracing cringe, like about like embracing, well, people might make fun of this, but I'm happy and I'm enjoying myself and I'm not hurting anyone, so engaging in this is fine. And even if people like make fun of that, then who cares?
Yeah, the evolution of like being so scared of being cringy to like embracing the cringe is beautiful, and then like the final evolution is like fully not giving a shit.
Yeah.
Like you go past embracing whether or not it is cringe, saying like, oh, cringe isn't real, and just moving on to the like, okay, anyway, kind of point of your life where you don't even respond to hate. You're just like, cool, have a nice day. Anyway, like, I got ponies that need restyling. Okay, so thank you so much for having me. This has been so much fun, and honestly, this has been amazing. I love having a chance to talk to people about G2, and it's so cool to speak to people that like want to hear about it for a change. If you want your own G2-Redo, you can get them at the coffee shop. It's coffee.com/Grace Ruby, or if you just Google Project G2-Redo, I'm pretty sure it's showing up in search engines now.
Yes, it is.
So it should be easy to find. Hopefully the lovely people on this podcast might put a link in the description. Look, link! Jingling the keys. Jingle, jingle! Click the link! Buy stuff. Help us make alicorns!
Woo!
Buy one for your nan! Buy one for your friends! Buy one for your cat!
Yay! Thank you to all of our listeners for listening. Thank you guys so much for watching, and please tune in next time. Goodbye!
Bye!
Bye!